Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know, my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, laws of God they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know, my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, laws of God they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know, my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, laws of God they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the role. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, history, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it?
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, history, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History.
We're back. Damn, we're back. We are back.
Are we live?
We live. The whole crew is back today. All praise to the Lord.
All
the whole crew is
praises,
back.
man.
You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
The whole crew is here. Finally, it's been a while. I'm glad you guys can join us.
Praise to the Most High.
Yeah, man. So we're just going to just jump right into it, man. I want to jump right into this history of Babylon. We left off with Aluoda Equiano being of an Igbo descent and how he mentioned the comparisons of his culture, of his people, and the Jews, and how it was pretty much the same. It was parallel because it's the same people. The Igbos and the Israelites were one and the same. The Igbos or Hebrews were one and the same people, retained the same customs traditionally. So now, we left that off, and also him being on the slave ships. You dumb niggas that say that the slave ships aren't real. He mentions He mentions here, it's actually documented that he was on a ship. Okay, it's factual. So you guys know what you're talking about. Also, let's go to Jewish diaspora. I'm breaking up over here.
Yeah, I hear the symptoms.
A little staticky over here.
Static.
A little staticky. Okay, it's clear now. Give me I want Babylonian I want Jewish diaspora, volume 2. I'm on page 453, and we're gonna start at according and end at age. Because I'm gonna show y'all that when Babylon came into power, Assyria and Babylon pretty much the same. They pretty much ruled over the same regions. This is one pretty much just took over from the other. So both of these nations had the policy of deporting and scattering the enemy nations abroad to have them lose any sense of racial pride or national pride. All right. So we want to deal with Babylon. Watch this. Volume 2, according, and then we're going to end at age. Now, we've read this before. We read this before back in the last series, and now we're going to go over a lot of these. We're actually going to revisit a lot of things I went over the last series, which is like 30-something parts long. We're going to revisit a lot of those things again, proceeding forward in this series. Go ahead.
Let me see the title.
Legends of Semitic. Yeah.
Migrations of Jews into West Africa.
Yep, so migrations of Jews into West Africa, because the land of Israel is already in Africa, so oftentimes what we would do is we would flee further into the interiors of Africa to escape imperial, pretty much imperial oppression. All right, go ahead.
Legends of Semitic migrations into the Maghreb, North Africa.
Right, go ahead.
According to most accounts, the earliest Israeli settlements...
Israeli goes into Israelite. Just ignore the Israeli nonsense. That word is non-existent before 1948. It's non-existent. The Israelite settlements. Go ahead.
Settlements in Africa were in places such as Egypt.
So remember Egypt. Remember the brother from the last video, Remy Leona. He mentioned how the Igbos in Nigeria during the time of Gedaliah, when we fled into Egypt, and then of course Gedaliah got killed. We got more afraid, and we fled, and we actually migrated further into Egypt or further down, because I believe under Egypt you have Libya, you have like Ethiopia and things of that nature under there. Okay, we'll get a map. We'll get a map soon to see that. But go ahead.
And Ethiopia.
So there you go, Ethiopia. I'm gonna keep this in mind. So Israel from further migrated into areas of Egypt, Egypt. You skipped things. Tunisia. You skipped that, right? Read it from the top again.
According to most accounts, the earliest Israeli settlements in Africa were in places such as Egypt, Tunisia.
Tunisia is Carthage or Tunis. Tunisia is North Africa. Is Carthage or further a little northwest. Tunisia is Carthage. Go ahead.
And Ethiopia.
I want you to keep that in mind. That's a very, very important thing to go over today. Ethiopia. Go ahead.
Historians believe these settlements may have been in existence as early as the kingdom of David and Solomon.
So Israel was in these areas as far as the time of David and Solomon. We migrated to these areas, especially during Solomon's time, because Solomon had a fleet that traveled over to India. We sailed all over the place. All right? Remember, Yemen is right across the sea from Ethiopia. It's right there, literally right across, like right next door neighbors. It's like Cape Verde in Africa. Yemen and Ethiopia is right there. Go ahead.
As well as during the Assyrian invasion of northern Israel in 722 BCE.
Right, so during the time of Babylon, David and Solomon, and read again after Solomon. As well as what?
As well as during the Assyrian invasion of northern Israel in 722 BCE.
I showed you that before about how the Yoruba tribe, how our brothers fled into Yoruba, right? They fled during the Assyrian time into Nigeria, and then a brother Remy Leona, he mentioned during the Babylonian time they fled into Egypt and further into Africa as well, into Nigeria too. Both southern and northern kingdom fled to the same areas because we were already in these areas since the time of David and Solomon. We were in these areas because the Solomon had a fleet, so we traveled all over Africa. We traveled in India, we traveled the Mediterranean, we sailed these seas. So we knew these places already. Go ahead.
And the Babylonian captivity of Judah.
And the Babylonian captivity, which we're in now. We left Assyria, now we're in Babylon. Go ahead.
In 586 BCE, in the Punic Carthaginian age.
In the Punic Carthaginian age. Because during Babylon, Israel was already took over. We had already taken over the Carthaginian or the Carthaginian. We had taken over pretty much over, what's the place called? The Sidonians. We took over. We became the Phoenicians at this point. All right? We fell into that category. We pretty much had Tunisia became ours. All right? It was the Canaanites first, and we took it over. The Tyrians.
And, right.
The Tyrian. We took over. We took that land over. We took over because they were the Walmart. They were the Walmart, the Amazon of ancient time. We took that over. Okay, that's why it's called the Punic Carthaginian age. That's when our capital was Tunisia. So by the time Hannibal and them took over during these captivities, a lot of us began to flee into these areas. Judah and Northern Kingdom fled into these areas. All right, and for different parts. But let's focus on Ethiopia. Okay, let's focus on that now. Now, get me Babylonian captivity, Britannica. Babylonian captivity, I want Britannica.
All right, that's it. Babylonian captivity.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Need that.
Babylonian captivity, also called Babylonian exile. The forced detention of Jews in Babylonia following the latter's conquest of the kingdom of Judah in 598 to 597. And
the dates vary, but go ahead.
And 587 to 586 BCE. The captivity formally ended in 538 BC when the Persian conqueror of Babylonia, Cyrus the Great, gave the Jews permission to return to Palestine. Mm-hmm. Historians agree that several deportations took place.
Like 3 or 4 of them. We had 3 or 4 waves. Go ahead.
Each the result of uprisings in Palestine. That not all Jews were forced to leave their homeland, that returning Jews left Babylonia at various times, and that some Jews chose to remain in Babylonia.
Some Jews chose to remain in the places where they were deported, they were imported by Babylon. They chose to stay. Go ahead.
Thus constituting the first of numerous Jewish communities living permanently in the diaspora.
Living permanently in the diaspora. So the Babylonians and the Assyrians are responsible for the Israelite diaspora, okay? Which the world knows today as the African diaspora, but it's still the diaspora. Israel became the diaspora. Read on.
Many scholars cite 597 BC as the date of the first deportation. For in that year, King Jehoiakim was deposed and apparently sent into exile with his family.
His mother, his children, his servants. Go ahead.
His court, and thousands of workers. Mm-hmm. Others say the first deportation followed the destruction of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar in 586. Mm-hmm. If so, the Jews were held in Babylonian captivity for 48 years. Among those who accept the tradition, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 10, that the exile lasted 70 years.
It was 70 years. So the captivity lasted 70 years because Babylon, I'll get into that in a minute. Go ahead.
Some chose the dates, 608 to 538.
Right, so that's 70 years. 608 is when Babylon conquered Assyria, and that's when their rule began. Most scholars agree 609 to 539. Not 608, it's 609 to 539. But they count 605 because 605 is when the time when Nebuchadnezzar pretty much conquered Joachim and took him captive and took the first wave. So the people say, people say 605, but Babylon really began 609 after the Battle of Megiddo when Josiah got killed. That was 609. That's when their reign really began. So from 609 to 539, it's approximately 70 years, according to prophecy. Read on.
Others 586 to about 516.
Because that was the time. Read on.
The year when the rebuilt temple was dedicated in
So
Jerusalem.
some count that as the 70 years. In 516, when Israel returned and rebuilt the temple, they'll count that. But I count 609 to 539. But go ahead.
Although the Jews suffered greatly and faced powerful cultural pressures in a foreign land, they maintained their national spirit and religious identity.
They retained their. This is my first time reading this part. So they retained what?
They retained their national spirit and religious identity.
So they remained homogenous. Remember, Assyria did this to the northern kingdom. Not all northern kingdom assimilated. Babylon did the same thing Assyria did to us, but they did not. Not all of us assimilated into the society. Okay, a lot of us remained. We remained loyal to each other. We married within our home, as we still do today. Go ahead.
Elders supervised the Jewish communities, and Ezekiel was one of several prophets who kept alive the hope of one day returning home.
Right, go ahead.
This was possibly also the period when synagogues were first established, for the Jews observed the Sabbath and religious holidays, practiced circumcision, and substituted prayers for former ritual sacrifices in the temple.
So while in captivity, we practiced circumcision, A, B, and C, just like Oluoda Equiano said. They were keeping circumcision the 8th day. They were keeping burnt offerings. They were doing the same exact thing while they were in exile. Of course, he takes place, he's generations later. So
Right.
he has no idea why he's doing these things. He was just born doing it. Go ahead.
The degree to which the Jews looked upon Cyrus the Great as their benefactor and a servant of their God is reflected at several points in the Hebrew Bible.
Right.
At Isaiah 45, verses 1 to 3, where he is actually called God's anointed.
Because he was anointed, he was a heathen king that got anointed to allow us to rebuild the temple. Because there will be no more kings in Israel anymore until Christ returns. So he was the anointed king that God raised up among the heathens to allow us the liberty to rebuild our land back and return from our lands of exile, in which many of Judah returned and many of northern kingdom did not. Remnants of them returned, but the majority of Judah came back to rebuild, with remnants of northern kingdom. Okay? So now, right at this point, during the time of Persia, and many of us during the time of the return, during Persian captivity, we stayed in America, and some of us stayed in Spain during this time. Okay? That's what happened. So now, get me Jeremiah 25.
Hey, Dick, before
Yeah.
you go on, if I may, like you were saying, there was practicing those circumcision.
Yeah.
And there's a scripture, if I may, Judges 5,
Yeah.
verse 11.
Just get it. Yep. Get that.
Because that was the law that wherever we at in captivity, we're supposed to
Keep the
rehearse
commandments. Right.
the commandment. It's the same thing we hear in Babylon today. In this captivity, we're supposed to rehearse the righteous acts.
Judges chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing waters, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
Right, so the drawing water, meaning that we're slaves. Wherever we slaves at, we're supposed to rehearse the righteous act of the Lord. You know?
Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
Right, so we're supposed to rehearse the righteous act
Right. While in captivity.
while in captivity.
Right. We did the same thing in Africa. Did it in Spain.
You got echo.
Give me Jeremiah 25.
Jeremiah chapter 25,
Verse 1.
verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. The which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that is 23 year, the word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened. And the Lord has sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again, now, every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doing, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after the other gods to serve them, and to worship them, and to provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and hissing, and a perpetual desolation.
Right. So he says, my servant, going back to Cyrus being his anointed. The Lord set these nations up. Whenever Israel rebelled, these nations were set up in rulership because of us. Not because they're special and powerful and mighty, but because Israel would sin. So God said, I'm going to raise these nations up and put them in power because you guys don't want power. If you don't want any power, I'm going to have nations have power over you. Go ahead. And not only did he conquer us, he conquered everybody. Nebuchadnezzar conquered everyone. He conquered Edom because Israel ran to Edom. He conquered them too. Israel ran to Egypt, he conquered Egypt. Israel ran to Ammon, he conquered Ammon. Israel ran to Moab, he conquered Moab. Everywhere Israel ran, Nebuchadnezzar subdued and conquered them. So we got conquered along with them. All as a result of us. It's like the same thing with Jonah on the ship. When Jonah was in the boat, they was like, yo, they're praying to their God. Say, hey, man, why was this storm coming? What caused this? Jonah was like, this is me. I'm the reason why it's raining like this. I'm the reason. They're throwing his ass off the boat. Throwing the damn boat.
Damn.
And
We bring calamity with us. That's why we notice wherever you find like a real clean, nice neighborhood, when you go into a black neighborhood, you know how it changes?
Yeah.
It's like a cloud of darkness.
That comes.
I'll tell you our story. One time, so my grandmother was young. We headed to Long Island for a doctor's appointment, and I had to go to Long Island, the ferry. So we're riding around the bus, and we're riding on the bus. It's a real bright, sunny day. We're riding around the bus. The bus driver's driving all slow. He's driving, and he's driving all slow, whatever. We're coming back from the doctor's office. So it's the area we were in was all bright and shiny, sunny. Then the bus makes a turn. The sun goes down. It gets dark. Wow. You see niggas walking around in the shower, all effed up, graffiti everywhere, garbage on the street. The bus driver started going a little faster. The bus driver, because wherever you find our people, you find it's like night and day. Edom lives somewhere. It's clean, streets clean, clear. It's sunny, bright, trees, grass. You go where the Negroes is at, Hispanics it's garbage, it's filth, squalor. Because them curses are on us.
Don't do it, Cap.
What I do? I was thinking about the scriptures.
No, don't do it, Cap. Don't do it.
I was meditating on the scriptures. I wasn't meditating.
I mentioned garbage. Your face lit up. Your face,
Yeah, don't say it.
your face lit up.
Cap had that look.
Yeah, you got that look, Cap. I know.
I was thinking of
this.
this.
Yes.
I come back for the first time, and I'm already being accused.
Yes, I know what's gonna happen.
I mean,
So the point is that the curses are clearly evident, man. Wherever our people are found, you'll find these impoverished conditions, terrible conditions.
Hey, Deke, I got a scripture for
D.C.,
you.
Manhattan, Brooklyn, New York, you see it. Yeah.
Can't escape.
This is Lamentations chapter 3, verse 45. That has made us as the offscouring and a refuge in the midst of the people.
Right.
All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. So that's touching on what you were just speaking about, Deacon. Anywhere we go, the curse is going to overtake us and overcome us as a people.
Right.
We are the people of the curses. When you look at our conditions and environment, I always like to say, or there's a saying that Captain Isaac always brings out, art reflects life and life reflects art. So the things that's within our mind is reflected in our community.
Right.
The curses, the garbage, that's what it says, I have made you as the offscouring and the refuse, meaning garbage. Wherever we go, the filth, the sin that's in our mind, adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, evil eye, evil concupiscence. All these things are manifested in our community.
Right.
So, and the world in itself, as the Israelites get worse, is when the scriptures in Matthew 24 says, and many shall wax cold and cold. The world is a reflection of the Israelites. As we wax colder and colder, as we get evil and evil, as generations get worse and worse, the earth deteriorates and it comes in an age of decadence where pretty much the Most High has had to kill off everybody and destroy this land.
Start all over.
The niggas ain't no good, the land ain't no good.
Right. Damn.
And that's why Jerusalem's desolate.
Yeah.
Because the people of the land is not there.
Right. It's a wasteland.
And also to add to that is like when we speak about we're spiritual people, it goes deeper. When your mind is not right, like Cap said, there's spirits that involves with that. Like the spirit of lust, spirit of envy, spirit of murder. So this is why in our community things get dark. You know, just like when Saul was going off, the Most High had an evil spirit upon him. So there's many evil spirits on our people because our mind is far from the Lord.
Right.
Hey, D, if I may add, there was an article that came out a couple years back about Philly, the garbage in Philly. A Edomite tried to go to the neighborhoods and clean up the garbage, but drug dealers was like, yo, don't clean that up.
Yeah.
The drug dealers told them don't clean it up because they like that evil. They like it like that. It brings the depression, the evil, and that murder spirit.
Yeah,
the dark spirit around. So
Negroes is dumb. I guarantee they're probably like, yo, he feds. He CIA. You know what I mean?
It reminds me when I went to Haiti. When I went there, there's so much filth and garbage out there. That's a reflection when Levi was giving the Mosai. They was giving them garbage sacrifice.
No.
Mosai said, you want to give me garbage sacrifice? I'm going to take away your food. I'm going to take away, I'm going to put filth in your land.
Damn.
You're going to be eating mud cakes and mud pies.
This is what you came back for?
It's going to be smelling like doo-doo.
This guy.
hey,
Wait. Hey,
Cap
Cap,
been holding that in, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. Let me ask you a question, Cap. Remember the old camp we was in?
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right over there in Philly. And we was teaching, and the brothers was listen, Cap, I just want to know, you know, was those people from Haiti, perhaps, just, you know, clarification.
Bring it out, bro.
And,
They saw a Haitian film.
I mean, the garbage can was right there, Cap, and they was eating and just threw it right on the floor. And the garbage can was empty with a fresh garbage bag in
You
it.
got that on tape?
Yes, we have that on tape, sir.
Where's the files? I got Haiti on tape. I got the
my
files on my
God,
phone.
man. He cannot resist, man.
I got an
He cannot
illustration of
resist.
when Philly Judites in Philly say they got bread.
Wait, well, let's get back to the Bible. Let's get back to
Oh,
the
we
Bible.
want to switch it up
Yeah,
now.
let's-
Okay, all praises.
What verse is that? What verse is that? What verse we in? Verse 10.
Jeremiah chapter 25.
Verse
Brothers
10.
out the spirit.
So Nebuchadnezzar conquered all the nations pretty much. Israel fled to. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 10. Moreover, I will
Oh,
take...
I'm sorry. This also explains how Moab and Ammon got pushed out that land, and Edom got pushed out. Some of them got pushed out of Mount Seir as well, because Nebuchadnezzar he conquered nations and displaced everybody. All right, so y'all be wondering how was Ammon and Moab? How did they get over there to China and Japan if Moab and Ammon was in the Near East? Because they got pushed out by Babylon. Okay, that's how Edom ended up in Jerusalem. Edom, remember, it tells you Maccabees that they had to take the land. No, the Persians had to remove Edom from our land because during Babylon, Edom pretty much got migrated, were forced out of their land and migrated into ours. Okay, because Nabonidus took over that area of Edom, so they migrated into southern Judah, I believe, and we had to push their ass out of there during the Maccabees time and take our land back from them. Go ahead, read on.
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 10. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle.
Go ahead.
And this whole land shall be a desolation, and an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
70 years. These nations, including Israel, shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. The reason why I count 605 because that was during Nebuchadnezzar's reign, but 609 is Nabopolassar. Nabopolassar, his father. That's when they gained reign, and Nebuchadnezzar took his place and continued where he left off. 609. All right? 70 years. 609 to 539 is 70 years. Someone count. Some would say 516 gone to temple. I count Babylon's rule. When Assyria fell during the battle of Megiddo, That was 609. When King Josiah was killed at the Battle of Carchemish or Battle of Haran. It's called Battle at Haran or the Battle of Megiddo. 609. When King Josiah was killed for meddling. We went over that weeks ago. That's what began. That's what established Assyria's ruin and established Babylon's reign. All right? The Battle of Megiddo. Now, you may ask yourself, but what makes that so important? The Battle of Megiddo, okay, establishes the rule of ancient Babylon. Now, many of y'all are like, okay, that's fine. But the word Armageddon in the Bible, Ar means it means hill, and Megiddon is Megiddo. So the Battle of Armageddon took place first during the time of ancient Babylon. And then another battle of Armageddon or Megiddo is going to happen again, which is this Babylon. All right, the Valley of Decision.
Yeah, wait.
I'm like,
Drop
So
bomb with
the
it.
same battle that started Babylon's rule will be the same battle that ends it.
Damn.
crazy.
You understand? It's the same thing. So now, where we at? Give me let's see.
And that's not the Valley of Decision right there.
Right, that's the Valley of
So almost I
Decision, the
said,
Valley
yeah,
of
it's gonna
Decision.
Joel 3.
You'll gather all nations into the Valley of Decision. That's that place. The Battle of
got
Battle
it.
of Armageddon, Valley of Decision. Where we at?
What was that? We left off at Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 12. Sir.
Yeah, read on. Read on to 13 and 25.
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 12. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon, and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity. In the land of the Chaldeans, it will make it a perpetual desolation.
After 70 years, Babylon falls and Persia takes over. Go ahead.
And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah hath prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. And I will recompense them according to their deeds, and according to the works of their own hands. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad, because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink, unto whom the Lord has sent me, to wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, and astonishment, and hyssop, and a curse, as it is this day. Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azah, and Ekron, and a remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon,
These nations he conquered. Babylon was going to conquer. Go ahead.
and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon,
Canaanites.
and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tamar, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert,
Mingled people. Different nations mingled together. Go ahead.
and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam,
Elam, that goes to East Indians. Go ahead.
and all the kings of the Medes,
The Medes, the Persians and Medes. Go ahead.
and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them.
Shall drink the judgment of Babylon reigning over them. Israel will drink it too. All nations are going to drink that judgment. Go ahead. That's it. Don't want. Give me on Wikipedia, Neo-Assyrian Empire. Wikipedia, Neo-Assyrian Empire. Wikipedia. We're gonna start at where it says upon. It's gonna end at I can't read that thing.
And that chapter is it's almost like twofold.
Yeah, it is
You
twofold.
heard this. You read the same thing in Revelation.
Yeah.
About that, the fall of all the nations.
Because it's twofold Babylon. That's why it's two Babylons.
Bible, right?
Double meaning. Neo-Assyrian, just go to upon. The paragraph starts with upon.
Neo-Assyrian Empire.
Upon, yeah.
Upon the death of Ashurbanipal.
Ashurbanipal as Snapper in Ezra. Snapper as Banipal, Ashurbanipal was like the last Assyrian king. Go ahead.
In 631 BC,
One of the last, because his sons took over after that. They all got conquered too. Go ahead.
the empire began to disintegrate
Yep.
due to a brutal and unremitting series of civil wars in Assyria proper. In 616 BC, Cyaxares, king of the Medes,
Cyaxares, I believe it's Cyrus is King Cyrus' father, correct?
Yes.
Cyaxares, so king of the Medes. Go ahead.
and Persians made alliances with
Oh no, Cyaxares is
He's
Cyrus,
afterwards, right?
Cyrus' father or Cyrus' mother's father?
No, Cyaxares is Cyrus' father.
Cyrus' father, okay.
Cyaxares, yeah.
So Cyaxares, king of the Medes, go ahead. Yeah, he was, yeah, okay, go ahead.
king of the Medes and Persians made alliances with Nabopolassar.
See that? So the Medes made an alliance with Nabopolassar, that's Nebuchadnezzar's father. They made an alliance with Nabopolassar, go ahead.
ruler of the Babylonians and Chaldeans, and also the Scythians and Cimmerians.
Scythians were like the ancient Iranians. And Israel got over there, became Scythians too. And the Cimmerians were, Cimmerians, I believe, goes into Japheth, right? Gomer?
Right, that's over in like Spain, Ireland,
France, around that area.
around that area, right?
That's
Europe,
Europe.
around Europe.
That's right. I think that's Japheth.
Japheth, right.
That's Gomer. Cimmerians is Gomer. Japheth. Go ahead.
Against Assyria.
So all these guys got together and said, we're going to destroy Assyria. I told you before, Assyria was extremely terrible and violent, and they were hated. So these guys got together and said, Assyria was powerful. They were warriors. So these guys had to gang up on her. Okay, had to gang up on Assyria. Go ahead.
Chaldeans, at the fall of the Haran, 609 BC.
At the fall of Haran, 609. That's when King Josiah meddled and got put to death. That's when Pharaoh Necho II was involved and all that. And they lost. That was a wrap. That marked the end of Assyria's rule in the beginning of Babylon's under Nabopolassar. Then 4 years later, 605, his son takes over, and he ends up making Jakim his tributary. Go ahead. Babylonians, what?
The Babylonians and Medes defeated an Assyrian-Egyptian alliance.
The Babylonians and Medes, I believe Nabopolassar's wife, I believe she was a Mede. The Medes were a very, very small nation, but they are very, very strategic in who they allied themselves with. So they allied themselves with the Assyrians before, but then they said, the hell with them. Let's go just join Babylon now. Okay, so it's the Babylonians and the Medes, go ahead, did what?
After which Assyria largely ceased to exist as an independent state.
So at that point, at the Battle of Haran or the Battle of Megiddo, same thing, Assyria was a wrap. So that's 609. That marks the end of Assyria and the beginning of Babylon's reign. That's why I said to y'all before, I count 609 to 539 as the approximate 70 years Jeremiah made reference to in this chapter here, in verse 12 and 11. 609 to 539 is 70 years exactly. Okay? Now, some would say to someone sort of 516 with the 70 years, whatever. I count 609. That makes more sense to me because that marks that was the most pivotal battle, the Battle of Megiddo. Okay? Oh, it also falls on the Fertile Crescent, the same Fertile Crescent that Abraham traveled on from his land to Canaan. Fertile Crescent. That's the same place. Haran is the same place. Carchemish, same area. All right? Now, let's get the YouTube video I want. YouTube, what happened to the 10 lost tribes. We're going to stop at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, remember, don't forget the point. I went over the Jewish diaspora book, how Israel, during the time of Assyria, and watch my fingers, I'm Illuminati. Stupid niggas. During the time, I'm doing anyway. The time when the Jewish diaspora book, when Israel fled from the rising of Assyria, they fled further into West Africa and North Africa. Then during the time of the Babylonian, they fled further into West Africa and North Africa and joined in force with who? With the Carthaginians. That's Hannibal and them. All right? And then Hannibal and them, they sailed the Mediterranean, and they ended up taking over areas of what we know of today as Britain, Ireland, and that's going to tie into the history of all the kings that reigned in Britain and Scotland and England and so forth. That ties into that. Dub and all these other, I won't get into that later on, after Rome and so forth. Well, during the Roman captivity, I'm going to go into that. We took over those islands. Britain's an island, by the way. Britain's an island. It's called the British Isles. All right, I believe there was 10 there, and Ireland was the first. Ireland was called Hibernicum, Ibernicum, like Iberian Peninsula, Ibo. It's the same thing. Same people naming the same land, the same thing over and over again. And they're wearing fringes over here too. All right, you got that? You got that one? So let it play. We're gonna stop at 6. Hopefully they don't cut us off. We got the disclaimer up. The disclaimer. Let's go. Now pause. This guy is running around asking Israelis, so-calleds, what happened to the lost 10? Because the so-called Jews today, the Israelis today, claim descent from the 3. They claim to be Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Cohen. They're all for some reason all these guys are Levi. Okay? Cohen, Levi, Judah, Yehuda. They claim Southern Kingdom. None of them claim Ephraim. None of them claim Manasseh. And the reason why is that's strategic, because by saying that they're Judah, they are basically counted as the rightful owners of Judea. So they say we're Judah. They can't say they're Ephraim, because then they can't take the land. So they say we're Judah, so we can get the Holy Land. They can get the land, the capital. Then they say, well, where the other 10 at? Oh, the other 10 are lost. We don't know where they're at. They're gone. They're lost.
Bruh.
They're in Africa somewhere, and they're beyond this river called the Sembantion, a mythical river where you can't cross the river because the current is real strong during the week, and it throws rocks. Then during the Sabbath day, the water's calm, but see, it's a Sabbath. So we can't swim on the Sabbath, so we can't go to the water and get them. This is what they be saying.
Right.
That's that bullshit. It's just wacky bullshit.
It's a white mouth.
I'm sorry, I gotta say it, it's wacky nonsense. So basically, to make a long story short, they're saying that the 10 tribes, they know where the 10 tribes are at. They're in Africa, but they can't get them because the water the water divide keeps them from getting them. Because the water throws rocks outside the Sabbath, but then the Sabbath day you can't swim, you can't cross rivers in the Sabbath, because that's work. You can't make this up. So let's go. Watch this. River Sambantion. Go ahead. So I'm sorry, pause again. This guy is running around asking them what happened to the lost 10. He's asking questions because he's Israeli himself. So he's being sarcastic, asking where they're at. Go ahead.
ואיפה כל השבטים האחרים? איפה 10 השבטים?
יש 10 שבטים נמצאים בעבר הסמבטיון, ככה כתוב בכל המקומות. נהר הסמבטיון. יש נהר שככה מובא במקורות, שיש נהר שזורק אבנים במשך כל הזמן. כבר חיפשו את זה, ופה לא מצאו את זה, אבל אמרו מעבר לנהר הם שלחו אותם לגלות, ומאז לא רואים אותם, ומצד השני של אותו נהר הם נמצאים שם.
אתה יודע איפה הנהר הזה? אני לא...
לא, כבר דיברו על זה שזה נמצא באיזשהו מקום בפקיסטן, אבל היה כל מיני דיבורים בכל מיני מקומות.
So this river is just mythical. We don't know where it is, but they're beyond it. They're beyond this river. We don't know where it is. It's called the Sambantion. Sambantion is like a Greek word of Sabbath, the Sabbath river, because during the Sabbath, the water is calm. Outside the Sabbath, the water is rough and turbulent, and it throws rocks. You can't cross it. It's dangerous. But during the Sabbath day, it's calm. But because it's the Sabbath, you can't swim on the Sabbath, so you can't cross it to get to the 10 tribes.
But this river is nowhere to be found.
They don't know where it is. They claim that Eldad the Danite spoke of it, but a lot of his stuff is made up nonsense.
They can't just take a helicopter and just do a tour.
Just fly over there.
All the equipment.
Yeah.
You got U.S. technology.
You got GPS that can find damn abandoned cars in the rivers.
Gosh, drones.
We can't play the videos, what you saying? So we can't play it.
The disclaimer is blocking the subtitle. Can you take the subtitle out?
No, it's part of the video.
Oh, God.
You got to explain it because people can't see the subtitles when they talk.
But we can see it, right? So you can just explain it because we can see it. We
All
can
right.
see the subtitles.
All right, so cool. So do whatever it is you can so I can play it.
So let me Because we gotta read the subtitle.
Right. We can see it though. It's right here.
So you got muted.
Oh, it's on that side.
Right. So it's block.
It's right there.
It's blocking. Just that's all he's saying. But
So
we
the
can.
the people cannot see.
it. Right.
Oh, okay,
But
got
you
you.
can explain
Oh,
it.
I see. So they
Right,
can't
right.
see it.
That's
Okay,
all.
got
So
you.
you,
Got
got,
you.
you have to explain that
Okay,
subtitle
so
to
the guy, this guy is
Right.
saying,
basically with the fake Jews.
the Custody River,
We're lying.
the Sambantian River, the Jews, they fled there, and we can't get the river because they said that you don't know where the river is, but you know that they're over there. That's what he's saying. Go on.
It's basically, we're a bunch of lies.
So basically, it's saying that the 10 tribes are beyond this river that no one knows where it is, and they can't cross it because during the Sabbath, the river's calm. You can't swim during that time, and when it's not the Sabbath, the waters are turbulent and rough, and you can't cross the river. You must scream it. Go ahead, best play.
Don't you like the dude from the Lord of the Rings, the one
Yeah,
next to him?
again, you shall not pass.
Smeagol.
Oh, Smeagol, yeah, Gandalf. Go ahead.
זה סמבטיון זה נקרא, וזה בגמרא גם אומרת שיש מושג כזאת, שיש נהר שזורק אבנים ובשבת זה נוטה.
Those stones on the Sabbath, you can't cross it. See, the Sabbath you can't see, the Sabbath you can't swim. So you can't cross over it. It's just nonsense. I said BS. Go ahead.
בשבת אסור לשחות, אז אנשים משם לא יכולים לעבור משם לכאן.
Here we go. So pause. This brother here is a Falasha. This is an Ethiopian Jew here. So he asked his brother, who lives in Israel, a Falasha, Ethiopian Jew, the 10 tribes, where are they? Watch what he says.
הנעדרים, איך אומרים, שכאילו היה
There was
יהודה
so the brother says there was Judah, and there are 12 tribes. Go ahead.
ו-12 שבטים, אחד זה יהודה,
The first
השני
is Judah, the second is Israel, he says. The brother says this. Watch this.
זה ישראל, והיו עוד 10.
But there were 10 others.
שהבבלים,
But the Assyrians-
הסורים.
Reuben, Reuben and Ephraim.
נכון, ראובן, אפרים, זה, מה קרה להם?
What happened to them, the guy asked? In your opinion. They were scattered, he says.
אז איפה הם היום? זה
Where
מה
are they
שהם שואלים
today?
פה.
Is that what people want to know? He asked the brother.
נכון אחרי...
After the second temple, Babylon,
נשארו רק כאילו...
Only
שבט יהודה בתוך...
Judah,
שבט יהודה נשאר
Judah
בתוך בית
stayed in the
המקדש.
temple. Pause. Now, he's a little bit wrong. Judah stayed, Benjamin was left, and Levi. At the second temple, they were scattered outside the land. That's true. Babylon burned it. Watch this.
שנחרב, התפזרו לחבי הארץ.
No. So second temple was Rome.
The first
Second
temple.
temple, first temple was Babylon. Second temple was Rome. He said during Rome they were scattered. He says, brother says that after the second temple was destroyed by Rome, they were scattered. So the guy, Edomite, the guy asked him, so where are they today? He asked him. Watch this.
אז איפה הם היום?
הם היו בגולה.
They were in exile. He says. They are now.
אתה חושב שהם עדיין כאילו
You
קיימים
see them as Jews
כיהודים?
also?
טכנית זה...
Technically, like we Ethiopian Jews are. Pause. He says, technically, like we Ethiopians are from, watch this,
משבט דן.
Dan, pause, tribe of Dan. So what's being taught to the Ethiopian Jews is that they're the tribe of Dan.
Right.
Why? Because they're black. Because they said the lost 10 tribes are scattered among the darker nations. They got darker. Judah remained untouched, so they stayed white and got the land with the help of Britain, the British Mandate, who conquered the Turks out of that land, and the League of Nations that basically gained public sympathy for them to inhabit the land. The law of return, okay, or it's called the Balfour Declaration, 1917. That was their plot, 1917. So he's saying that we've been told. He said we are told by the Israeli government that we are the tribe of Dan. I'm gonna tell you why the Israeli government acknowledged them as Israel. Period. I'm gonna go into that now. I showed you earlier in the book Jewish Diaspora, Israel fled into Egypt, Tunisia, and Ethiopia. Remember that, okay? During Babylon, he's saying the same thing. The brother last week, Remy Leona, said the same thing, that during Babylon's uprising, Gedaliah was killed, and we fled further south into areas of South Africa and migrated westward.
Same areas.
Same area. Because you still go, because remember, Egypt, you go down, Ethiopia is right under.
Right there.
Then you go further down, South Africa, you go west, Nigeria is right there. You go further up, northwest, that's Carthage up there. You go further up. So he says, we are told, he's saying that we're tribe of Dan, because that's what they were told by the Zionists, that they're tribe of Dan. You're not Judah, you're not white, you're niggers, so you're Dan. You're the 10 lost. You all mingled up with the Canaanites. That's what they're saying. They called them cushy. I mean nigger. That's they call them over there. Watch this.
האתיופים...
Pause. He's saying you. So the guy asked him, you believe you're from the tribe of Dan. Watch this.
חושבים שאתם שבט דן? לא ידעתי את
Pause.
זה.
Yes. He says yes. And the guy says to him, I didn't know that. Watch this. Pause. We Ethiopian Jews are descendants of Ezra and Nehemiah. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How can they be Dan if they are descendants of Ezra and Nehemiah? Ezra and Nehemiah are Levi and Judah,
Southern Kingdom,
who returned during what? After the Babylonian exile. So if the Ethiopian Jews are descendants of a Levite and Judah, or Levites and Judeans, they're not Danites.
Right.
So Deke, somebody is telling them you're Dan. Say
Someone's
Dan.
telling them
Somebody's
they're
lying
Dan.
to them.
They're being lied to.
And when you look at the scripture, the tribe of Dan, like Revelation, is not mentioned in the scripture.
Right.
So how could they be the tribe of Dan when the Bible itself?
Right. So what I'm showing y'all is that this guy, we Ethiopian Jews are the descendants of Ezra and Nehemiah. Those are not Danites. But he's speaking out of ignorance. He doesn't understand. He's not putting two and two together. I watched this for the first time. I was like, yo, Ezra and Nehemiah, how you Dan if you're descendants of Ezra and Nehemiah? That make no sense. That means that you're a Cohen or a Levi or a Yehudi. That's what the Ethiopians would be. The Ethiopians have faced persecution from the Israelis for the past 30 years. They're sterilizing the women. They're re-circumcising the men. Listen to my words. Re-circumcising, because they're already circumcised, because they already retain Judaic culture and religion when the so-called Israelis found them. That's why the Israelis had no choice but to accept them as Jews, because they have records and traditions that date back to Babylon and the Babylonian period, going back to right after what? Ezra and Nehemiah's captivity, because those two came from that captivity. They returned from that captivity. Watch this.
And I remember. I don't know if it's the beginning of this episode where you mentioned the Fulani.
Yeah, last week.
Right.
Week before last.
Before that, right.
I'm going to go over it again. Right. I brought that out last time for a reason to lead up to this. Go ahead.
שמה? לא שמעתי.
Pause. He says it again. We are descendants of Nehemiah and Ezra. He says it a second time. So among the Falashas, they say among themselves, we descend from those two men.
Right.
Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. But the Israelis said to them, you're Danites, without any evidence. So, our people, when the white man says something else, we go, okay. Yeah, but among ourselves, we go, no, we're not. We're Nehemiah and Ezra.
like Bishop Yawasabi, you said, because of his whiteness.
Right, the Jedi mind trick. We're descendants of Nehemiah and Ezra. You're Danites. We're Danites. That's how Edom does.
The hell is this?
Go ahead. That went to, we are from the tribe of Judah. Boom.
Wow. Boom.
That went to the east. Hear what he said? We are from the tribe of Judah, and we went to the east. Damn. Go ahead. We were on the way to Yemen. Pause. We were on the way to Yemen. Wow. They went this way. They fled from Babylon. They went eastward. That's going toward the further east.
And Dick, further to go deeper, now remember the Yemen people are being sold as slaves in Yemen.
Right.
So the Arabs are selling them as slaves.
Yes. Those are Yemenite Jews.
Today.
Those are Yemenite Jews.
Right.
They fled they went, some women, I showed y'all, some fled westward, some fled eastward. They went eastward. And when they fled eastward, they went downward. They went southeast, heading into Yemen. Okay, watch this. I don't know how, but went a little to the right, exactly. Because of that, there are also, genetic similarity between the Ethiopians and Yemenite Jews. Because they came from Yemen. And when you cross the water from Yemen, Ethiopia is, the horn of Ethiopia is right there. Get a map, I'll show you.
Deacon, man, can we read Zephaniah 3 after that?
Yeah, we get that.
Damn.
So I heard some brothers say something about a brother in our congregation looks like Nipsey Hussle. He's a Cushite. But a lot of our brothers are from Ethiopia. Tiffany Haddish, his father is Ethiopian, from Ethiopia. Nipsey Hussle is from Ethiopia. The Weeknd is from Ethiopia. He look like a Cushite to you? That's why I'm telling you, brothers, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, don't call the show. I'm telling you, don't be stupid. Just research first.
You better go by looks.
Use discretion.
That's what they are just saying. Look could be deceiving.
Right. So you have here, what's that right there? Ethiopia. Now I want Yemen. I want the Yemen. I want a map of Africa. Give me like a map of
Arabia.
Arabia, or just a map. Period. A globe or something. I can point it out for you.
Put map of the Near East, or whatever they call it.
You can't make this up, man. You can't make it up. Who else is from Ethiopia? The sister from the show The Godfather. Her name is Ilfanesh. Ilfanesh.
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sister.
Right.
She's
that's
Tigerian. Tigerian.
That's his wife.
That's his wife.
That's his wife.
Godfather of Harlem.
Yeah.
Godfather Harlem. She's his wife. She's from there too.
Bumpy's wife.
Bumpy's wife. She's from there. If I watch Godfather Harlem, good show. She was in the movie Baywatch, The Rock. She was in that movie also. Okay, blow it up more. See Yemen right there? Yemen is right there. Yemen is right there, and right across is Ethiopia, right across. Abyssinia, Ethiopia is right across. We fled to Yemen because the Babylonians were taking over. We fled eastward. Some of us fled eastward and migrated southward into Yemen. Some of us fled further up into Iran over there. Some even further than that, going toward India, and some further than that, going toward China. We just kept moving. We kept moving.
And that's why the scripture says beyond the river.
Beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, yes. So now give me Zephaniah 3 and 10 now. So Yemen is right there.
It makes sense. It's right there. So you cross right
there.
over. Ethiopia is right next to it.
And then they slip because it's strategic. Because now you're in Yemen. You want to go back home to Africa, you can just sail across. Africa right there.
And that's why he says that the king of the Ethiopian are related to the Yemenite Jews.
Genetically, right. But the Yemenite Jews today don't look like us. Well, they do, but they don't show them. They show the ones. They show the other ones. They show the
lighter
ones. They show
skin.
them. The ones that mix with the Arabs. They show the Arabic ones.
Welcome back, Cap. You all right? Yes, sir. You look lighter, Cap. Deacon wants Zephaniah 3.
3 and 10.
Yeah, I got him already, Dick.
I didn't know you were gone.
Oh,
Dang, you dipped.
Deep.
Dang, I'm sorry, man.
You sneaked out, right?
Focus, man. Focus. Again.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed.
So the daughter of his dispersed is in Ethiopia. The daughter of his dispersed is in Ethiopia. I know Nipsey Hussle, he was talking about in his rap songs about killing and murdering and all that other stuff. And he had family out there. So he said he went out there. And when he went out there, it was a life-changing experience because he said the people out there were so kind and so friendly. Even the women, beautiful out there. They were so humble and respectful. He said he couldn't even bring himself to go out there and use them like he would do sisters out here. Because out there, they were so innocent and loving and caring. He said, yo, it's different out here. And I noticed that whenever our people go over there, among their people in these areas, like Richard Pryor did it, I believe. And he said he stopped using the word nigga for that. Dave Chappelle went over there. Not saying that there's anything mystical, magical about Africa, but what I'm saying is when our people get around their own in a more calm environment, it's like they get a certain level of
peace.
Like a peace.
Like a serenity.
Right. So when he went over there, where his family is at, he was like, yo, it's dip. So his mindset was changed. He started opening businesses. He started learning business and trying to, change his whole image. And he got killed, of course. But the point is that he is from that area. All right. The Weeknd is from this area. Tiffany Haddish is from this area. Ilfanesh, sister from Godfather Harlem, is from this. Matter, give me a picture of those people. The Weeknd, Tiffany Haddish, Nipsey Hussle. and Ilfanesh, sister from Godfather Hall. I want their pictures as well.
And also the rapper here in Philly, Gilly.
Gilly the Kid.
Gilly the Kid is
Gilly the
also.
Kid's from there also.
Yeah, he got that Ethiopian head.
Yo, Ethiopian head. I don't know, man. A lot,
But it's true, they all got the same head.
They're the
and
same
look.
face.
The same look.
the same kind of features. Yeah,
Their head goes like almost like this.
it's like like an oval.
Like you
It's
can tell,
narrow.
like Levi, they got the same Haitian head. It's like a big, like
oh
Kool-Aid looking head.
man,
Like you can tell.
where we at? You stepping out 3 and 10 again? Jeez,
but Deacon.
oh my God. You had to segue into that, man. You couldn't resist, man. You couldn't
What did I
resist.
say?
You couldn't resist, man.
didn't say
Stepping out 3 and 10.
But Deacon, on that note, saying that a lot of times that people go to Africa, even when, like I said, when I made our trip to Africa, you made your trip to Africa, it was like a sense of serenity, peace when I went over there.
You're around your own.
You're around your own people, and it's still, like you say, you can still feel a sense of moral compass over there. There's still biblical principles that's being applied, that family
Right.
unity, that brotherly love
The
amongst them.
patriarchal
Humbleness, the humbleness of the women.
the patriarchal structure is still there. The man's the leader over there.
Shamefaced.
Yeah, shame faces the women.
They're not
kindness, cheerful.
Babylon. That was the word?
Babylonized.
Well, no, they
Thank
are.
you.
No. They are over there, but
as much.
but they still know their position.
Right.
The men still run things there.
Right.
They're just Americanizing the fashion.
That's what the Bible calls America the land of darkness. When the people, even the people, is at darkness.
Right, like over here, for example, here in America, like the garbage workers, the garbage people, it's men. Over there, sisters. They do all the sweeping and scrapping, all that stuff. They do.
Wow.
The men drive the truck. The women come behind. The women come behind the truck. Whatever they miss, and they grab the rest. It's crazy.
So they
that was
clean
in
it-
Nigeria.
So they keep clean the community
They
clean.
keep it clean. So yeah,
So the
despite
women.
even in an impoverished area, it's still clean.
I know. When I went to Sierra Leone,
Yeah.
but for some reason, you go to Haiti.
Oh
The
God!
damn
Oh
streets
man!
are filthy. There's garbage all over the place. There's garbage in the
Oh,
Cap, it's not all that. All the Haiti is not like that, Cap. It's just some places. It's just some places, just like over here in the United
oh my
States.
God!
So what's going on with the women in Haiti?
He makes it worse trying to justify it.
No.
So what's going on with the
What do you
women
mean?
in
That's
Haiti?
not just-
Why
Can
can't
I
they
get a
just-
scripture, please?
Yeah, hold
Why
on,
can't,
man.
why can't they just clean up the trash? That's what I'm asking for.
They out of place over there.
I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's happening.
Hey.
Damn.
You want to? If I go ahead, go over the pictures. You
Okay,
said one
give
of
me the pictures, please. Give me Nipsey Hussle. You go, "Yeah, he's a Cushite. You niggas are Cushites too. He's a Cushite. Okay, whatever. Him here.
Don't we have his brother in our congregation?
Yeah, but look this like on the congregation.
So
Yeah,
Harry?
yeah. We got Scripsy Hustle though.
I already got that. Hey, he got the head too.
He got the face. He got the face.
He got the head, the Ethiopian head.
But he said
It's like this.
his family. But guess what? His family, they claim descent from Benjamin.
Right.
They acknowledge their traditional goes back to Israel and their Benjamin. There's like that brother said in the video. So
That's
they
not a
know.
Benjamin head. I know a Benjamin head when I see a Benjamin head.
I don't know. Benjamin variant
he look
features.
kinda-
You can't even call that Benjamin variant features.
Oh, that's a.
Benjamin's different. And then like Gilly the Kid right there.
Yeah, he got like a Judite type of
Yeah,
head.
his face
He got a
is different.
Judite head, but his face
And you
is
got
like a little
Tiffany
mixture.
Haddish,
Yeah.
and you got the Weeknd. These is then go give me Ilfanesh. That's for the fifth one. Ilfanesh from
Oh, we're not claiming the
Godfather
weekend.
Hall.
He's bugging out.
Well, we gotta claim him, bro. That's what niggas do. They bug out.
Still a nigga.
Ilfanesh. I forgot. I don't know his name is Ilfanesh. I forgot her
Still
first name.
Go to put in Godfather of Harlem cast.
Yeah,
And
you'll
then
see her.
click her.
Lovely sister. You'll see. She's same thing.
Right there by right. Go down. Right there. Next, right there.
With that, yep, with that one. Yep, that's her right there. Yes, sir. Brothers, so she's Kush. You niggas will marry that, man. Y'all gonna marry that. Oh, he's Kush.
Yeah.
That's the Kush, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Love
Let her
you.
walk up to you and say, how you doing this morning? Yeah, all right. She'll be Israel the moment she
Go
say
ahead,
hello.
Go right out the window.
She'll be Israel. The moment she say hello to you, she'll be Israel. Niggas are full of BS.
We
man.
talk about Ark, she's Israel Ark. I check her
Yeah,
Ark.
She's a Kush Ak. Whatever.
Kush Ark.
That's a Judite head right there.
But anyway, that's so go. Damn, brothers, relax. Put her with the rest of the pictures. Brothers is starstruck. Put her picture with the rest of the pictures.
You all right over there,
I
brothers?
know
You all
she's
right?
pretty. Okay, I get it. Brothers is like,
What
Yeah,
button do I
buddy.
press then? What do I do next?
yeah, buddy, move over to Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, buddy.
Nipsey, Okay, put it in the middle. Since your brother's so starstruck, put it in the middle. There you go. There you go.
It look like they messed that up.
So you can't. This
see Obey over there.
This is from Ethiopia here. You understand? This is our people in these areas. You understand? That's all I wanted to. This
They
is
all got the same facial
beyond the
features.
rivers.
Yeah.
Beyond the rivers. The high cheekbones.
And you know how you could tell they don't have that dry Hamite,
Right.
that dry,
ashy
looking. Yeah.
And you can see that in Uganda.
And you can tell hand by their head. They got like a Kool-Aid, Mr. Kool-Aid looking head. That thing is just huge and it's square shaped. And it's big for no reason. Like Levi got a different type of head.
Oh God, no.
Dig.
Read that scripture, Zephaniah.
No.
Oh, you ain't got your scripture yet?
No,
No, you go first.
Zephaniah 3 and 10.
Let's get that
Levi
scripture
head
first.
tall and squared off.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, Levi.
Yeah, bro, what's going on?
Tall
man?
and squared off.
Yeah, bro. Your Cap just done create a monster now, man. Cap left. He left his prodigy right next to him.
Hey, anyone who has wants to call in or text, you're on the topic, just call us at 267 or call or text us at 267-702-6121. All right, that's 267-702-6121. All right.
Hey, what I learned too, like as I grow in this truth, it says study to be quiet. But I do understand that, when you talked about so much, that means you're worth it, you're important, So all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
Why you so
Bring it
sentimental,
up.
man?
And I have to bring my voice down for this because then it wouldn't be charitable what I'm saying because I'll be easily provoked.
Where's the violin? Where's the violin at?
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
you could be a scholar, but with no charity, it's nothing.
Don't give him no damn violence. Give him the compa.
Give him the compa.
Do not be easily
So you got
provoked,
we got
my
text?
Levi friends.
All right.
We got we got
Understand.
We got a question.
the
We got a
power
question.
of the
Hold
Lord.
on. Thank you. Let him finish. What's the text say?
Are we starting from the top?
Yeah.
Jabs, New Jersey.
Right here.
Oh.
Jabs in New Jersey. In Jeremiah 25, 17 to 26, did Jeremiah actually go to all those countries and prophesy to the people, or did he just speak it?
He spoke it.
And Deacon.
Yeah.
Let me see something.
So,
No. He went there. He did go. The Lord sent me. Remember, he didn't go to captivity, so he did go to these places. You asked that question before. He did go to these places. So he said the Lord sent me. He sent me in verse 17. Because remember, Jeremiah didn't go to captivity. So rather than go, that's why he left from Egypt with Gedaliah and traveled and told these and prophesied these things to Israel among these nations. What he fled to.
We got to call Deacon. Cap.
And we're forgetting too. When we look at the major prophets and some of the minor prophets, we thinking that there's just individuals alone. Nah, just like today, you have the bishop and the deacons. These would be considered your major prophets and your minor prophets. And then what happens? Then you have the sons of the prophets that, whatever the word that's given out to them, they teach us. Like Jeremiah, the bishop, he'll teach us a breakdown, understanding different nations and different judgments. And what happens? They send out the prophets to these different locations, and we teach.
Right.
So we're pretty much, like I said, we're a piece of Jeremiah. We're a piece of Daniel when we teach this word. Let's get Jeremiah 25, verse 4 real quick.
Mm-hmm. We got a phone call, right? A phone call on the text?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll answer both.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 4. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear.
So the point I wanted to take out of that says, and the Lord has sent unto you all his servants, the prophets. So it wasn't just Jeremiah alone. Jeremiah during that time period was the head prophet. He was the bishop during that time period. So the Most High was dealing specifically with him, just like with Bishop Nathaniel today.
Right.
The Most High is dealing with Bishop Nathaniel as well as the deacons, and then you have the captains, the officers. So there's a rank system and structure. As to the information that's passed down from the Most High to Jeremiah, Jeremiah teaches the men under him, and then the other prophets go out. Baruch. Yeah, Baruch too. Baruch would be like a deacon, right?
Yeah, he'd be Jeremiah's scribe.
Yeah.
And then we go out wherever.
Yeah, they teach us, and we go out and we teach what Jeremiah taught. We teach what Baruch taught.
And we're still doing the same thing today.
Yeah, it's no different.
Can I get the scripture real quick, if you don't mind? 1 Corinthians 14:32.
See, that was a great explanation, Cap. When the evil spirit is off of me. I like that. That was beautiful.
Cap, 1 Corinthians 14.
What happened?
No, I said I like the explanation. That was clear cut.
But what do you mean by the evil spirit?
No, don't worry about that part.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, don't worry about that part.
Yo, this is how I'm walking back on my first day.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
real disrespectful on the show.
You
First
never
Corinthians.
left, Cap. You was always here, man.
1
In
Corinthians
spirit.
chapter 14, verse 32.
Yes, sir.
And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Right. So that's
Right.
the same thing right there.
Right,
So
exactly.
We still
Same thing.
doing the same thing back then that they was doing.
It was just a phone call. So, get the caller on. Hopefully it's regarding the class.
Gone?
They're gone? Go to the text. What's the text say? Call back, man. Sorry about that. 267-702-6121. All right? I'm starting to memorize it now. I'm starting to remember the number now.
All
Good.
right. Shalom, Deacon, and leadership. My question pertains to all classes. When are we going to get the rest of the Hidden History song? It's fire, but we would like the rest of it. Easy. BX New York.
Damn. Okay.
Damn, you got Hollywood over here with the damn glasses on when it's dark in the room.
Right.
Hey,
Maybe you could see through his glasses. He might finish the song.
shout out to the BX New York, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there's an
In
album,
connection with Philly, you know what I'm saying? That's that song straight out from Philly.
there's an album coming out soon, and I believe that song will be on the album, right? So Lord's will, the album drops, that song will be on it. That song will be on it. All right? Lord's will.
This guy is such a star, man. The glasses gotta be on this too.
And he's
It's too bright up in here.
he's slouching again. You see him slouching again, right?
That's why
Anyway,
he's behind
cool.
sitting over there.
he's in over here so he can go to sleep.
Dig, if you don't
Look
mind.
like Weekend at Bernie's over there. Weekend at Bernie's. The guy was dead. That guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah,
He
right.
got jewelry on. He got a watch.
This guy, man.
guy.
Anyway.
D, we got another question. If
Oh,
you
what's
don't
up, what's
mind.
up? Yeah,
My man
what's
need
up?
a
Oh,
wife.
they're calling again.
And another caller.
So
Let's
answer
get the call
answer
before.
Answer the call
before that,
first.
yeah. Shalom, caller. You have reached our Hidden History radio show. Oh, not yet.
Oh, you filtering?
All right, so we could hit the question then, right? Why are you doing that?
No, it's gonna be a few seconds.
Okay.
Definitely finding out the truth. Everything you saying, brothers, is the truth. I mean, through just a half an hour listening to you brothers over the years, I got more in a lifetime of dealing with church.
All praises.
All praises.
So one of the questions that me and my wife have, as far as the hair covering, we know during prayer service or if they're praying, they're supposed to wear it over their hair. But we want to know, as far as in-house, besides that, outside, are they to wear hair coverings over their hair at all times? That's one of the questions that we have.
It don't gotta be at all times. It's just during the time when you're speaking the word of God or hearing the word of God, or a word of God, or music is being played regarding the word of God, or classes. Then you have your heads uncovered for you and her head covered. But walking around outside in the street, no, not at all. Unless of course you come across somebody that has a question, then you just put something on. Like my wife usually walks around with it all the time, you know, because you never know. But you don't have to have your head uncovered, her head covered all the time. Only during those instances. If that answers your question.
Thank you, my brother. And by the way, I watch you all the time, brother. I don't know offhand, but with the Glass and Bishop, I mean, I would love to meet them brothers. I mean, I listen to them all the time. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I watch them. Like I said, I just can't give you guys enough, man, because I mean, through y'all is the truth. I mean, I know more than what I ever known, and I'm changing my life as we speak. And I will see you brothers. I'm actually in the works of get my fringes. I will be seeing you brothers real soon.
All praises.
I'll be watching what y'all doing, God's will.
All praises.
Hey, you know we also got a Newark school.
Yeah, we got a school in Newark, you know.
Yeah, well, I live in North Carolina, so I'm probably going to be getting close to the
Carolina
probably
school.
the
Oh,
Charlotte
Carolina. They
branch.
said Newark.
Okay. Oh, okay. So all praises. So well, either or you're close.
Yep, and if you keep in touch, definitely before you even make that move, you know what I'm saying, we could connect you with the school out there, with the brothers out there, continue learning. It's established whereas every state, every country you go, we there, the prophets are there doing the work, all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And like I said, brothers, you know, this is deep. I love you, brothers. I mean, like I said, I was watching real quickly. I was watching Bishop doing a debate, right? And I mean, after even my wife, I gave it to her today, and I said, watch it, you know, and it's really like now that I know the truth, and it's just like you said about the churches, it was almost like, you know, the bishop was talking to a 4-year-old. It's like I understand what y'all say. The context is so clear.
Right.
And you get frustrated because it's like, brother, we here to help you, and you don't see it.
Right.
It's just as clear as day, you know? But I love you, brothers, and I'm definitely going to keep on looking. I went through all my accounts. I'm subscribed on every last one of them.
Oh,
so I won't miss a beat.
Hey, could you tell us your name once again?
My name is Kush, C-U-S-H, and my last name is E-L.
Okay.
All right, Chris. Thanks for calling,
Kush.
brother. Stay in the spirit and keep watching.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right.
the
So
text?
we got the text. Shalom, family. Shalom, family. I've recently started digging into my culture, and I managed to get back to Africa.
Okay.
And one of the things I found out that was crazy to me is that the Jews being black is only uncommon in America.
Right.
Most other places, people have known for decades to hundreds, even thousands of years. Can that be a coincidence?
No, it's not. But I'm glad
Excuse
you
me.
said-
That can't be a coincidence.
It's not. The reason
That
why
can't be a coincidence.
And the reason why is because America is where the majority of Israel is. That's why outside of America, everyone knows the Jews are black. Germany knows. Russia, they got cathedrals, churches. Jews being black is common. Oh yeah, so what? But America is a bubble because they know that they have the majority of God's chosen people here. That's why it's kept secret here. Outside this place, it's known. But here, they're like, nah, keep that thing quiet. Because if they wake up here, they wake up everywhere. Because the truth started here, the bulk of Israel is brought here, and that's why the Most High is going to bring judgment here first before everything else. So it's not a coincidence. No, it's not.
And Deacon, not only that, too, us waking up here is dangerous because we have access to all lands or regions.
Right.
Because if you be an American citizen, you have a passport, you have access to everywhere to teach the truth.
Right.
That's why I know Deacon Malachi, remember years ago, brought that up. The prophecy, Deuteronomy 33, verse 7, which says, "Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah."
Right.
Only Judah will be able to do that, waking up in America and have the ability to travel to Africa, have the ability to travel to Iran and all these other locations.
Right.
South America, North America.
Right. Where we at?
We're not ready for the call yet, right?
All right. Okay. We'll keep it short. I got a little bit more time before we go on break, so open the question. Go ahead.
All right, Shalom caller. Thank you for calling our Hidden History Radio Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name Adams. I'm over here watching a video. I'm in GA right now. I'm in Georgia.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, I was like, dang, I'm over here listening to y'all, boy. And I'm like, we need to spread this hidden history. I'm laying down right now. I'm behind the wall. And I was just thinking of a suggestion, how we talk about them boys on the other side, traveling around, getting scattered around. I'm thinking about the dudes that behind the wall, like how we can get this message out to people that are lost. You feel me? Like we need to come up with something where we can spread the truth behind the wall.
What wall? What do you mean behind
Prison?
the wall?
We're talking about prison.
The wall prison.
Yeah.
Well, we have a prison outreach system. We have a prison outreach center of our own where we reach out to brothers, we mail letters to them and so forth, and send them content. So we do have that going on right now. And a lot of brothers brothers that come out, they come right to the school, or they watch online and so forth, or they get the letters. We send them content, all the above. So we definitely have an outreach for brothers behind the wall. Yes.
And also, if you give us your name, we can look you up, and you could also be a point of contact for us. We were just having that in a meeting. One of the soldiers suggested that if we know somebody, or Officer LeQuac, I think, if you know somebody that's in a system, how can we use that person to spread the word? So by you even calling and asking that question, there's great works you can do behind the wall. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I've been watching these videos, you feel me? Because my brother really put a bug in my ear, like, brother's real spill, bro, and he been on it for a couple years. He called his name Appiel Levi.
Okay.
You feel me? I'm like, bro, this is real spill, and I salute because it's now or never. You feel me? So it's like the dudes that's behind here that just rolling around with their head looking down at the floor, they can get uplifted with knowing who they are and what they stand for. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. So we definitely have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
nah, I wasn't really gonna say much. I just want to say, like, I don't know how I could push it, knowing I'm just not learning. You feel me? I don't want to be looking crazy. I'm the only one, and I want more brothers to wake up to the truth. And I'm looking like a one-man army. You know, I'm like, dang, I know the Lord gonna push it, but I know support gonna come. That's why I'm like, I need a suggestion, put out a suggestion to where the dudes that's already doing it, they can push their members up in here and start having little seminars and coming in. You know, when they have visitation with this pandemic passing over, they can have seminars where dudes going up to the visitation area, because I'm way in Georgia right now. I'm from Miami. I'm way in Georgia. But it's a lot of dudes all over the world that want to know who they are.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes.
Hey, these people ain't correcting you and rehabilitating you. They just sit you in and say good luck.
You're right. You're right.
Right.
Hey, this is what you can do. First step,
What's up?
you could call this number again, right, and leave a voicemail with your information, and we'll continue reaching out to you, being a support. First, you know, you got to get yourself right. You get yourself right, your mind right in this scriptures, keeping the laws, and then we continue doing the work. So what you can do is call and leave a voicemail of your information, your contact, and then we'll definitely reach out. All right?
Okay.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
My name Adams.
Adams. Okay, Adams.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks you for calling, my brother. Stay in the spirit. All right?
Don't forget, man. Leave that voicemail. Leave that voicemail. Don't forget.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I don't know how long I have a cell phone, but, you know, I'm going to try to keep it low-key to where I can keep the contacts out more. You know,
All praise.
Understood,
All
brother.
praises, brother.
Yeah,
Damn.
man.
All right, I'm about to get back to the video.
All right, now, all praises. Hey, as you can see, this is a testimony.
Yeah.
The testimony of the work being done.
Right.
It's going to be heard.
Yeah. What's the next text we got? I'm just gonna keep going. What's the next text? What we got?
This is from Brother Shiloh. How did Judah get into the west of Africa if Igbo, you just say, if, where I'm at, I lost where I'm at.
If Igbo say they were
Fulani.
No, they are Gad.
They are Gad.
They're not. The Igbos, they're not.
All right.
I'll put it this way. The Igbos were, I said it a series ago, the Igbos were primarily Judah. And you have remnants of northern kingdom among them. And the Yoruba is northern, remnants of southern kingdom among them. It was divided kingdoms. So is Gad among them? Yes. But the majority of the Igbos were brought over here.
The second
a lot of Igbos say that. They say they Gad, and they refer back to Genesis.
It's
with
no
that.
different from Judah say they Gad too over here.
Yeah.
Judah and Gad all for some reason have an affinity.
Yeah, have an affinity with, whatever. So
the second part of Shiloh's question is the Fulani tribe of Israel?
Yeah, they're part of Israel too. They're part of that group. It's different divisions. Or whatever. Fulani. I got the book that talks about that. The book,
we have the book that explains who the Fulani is.
Esau says true Semites. I believe he says true, or he says he said doubtful Hamites. They call it, or is it true Semites?
Right. No, this book.
Get that book. Real quick.
He explains that the Fulani are Jews.
Get that book real quick. We don't have it. I send it to them. Let me send it to them, or if I have it, or you have it. I'm gonna show you something real quick. It's an old book. Give me 1 second.
Don't even answer that one, bro.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Was madness?
In a sense, but you know, funny thing is,
don't do it.
No. Funny thing is, remember?
Come out of it.
No. Remember in the meeting you just stated that.
What?
We were having a meeting Thursday, and Officer LeQuac said, "So when it comes down to the outreach, if you know somebody that's
that's in prison,
how do we reach out to them and how do we get them involved?" You just said that the other day in the meeting, in the outreach, and look, the brother's listening. Now he's looking to reach out.
I should have it now.
Yeah, and he said something powerful too. He said, once you get out of prison, they just let you go.
Yes,
there's no rehabilitation, nothing. You're on your own. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? And nobody will hire you.
Right.
So you're gonna go back into a life of crime.
Yeah.
Go right back in.
So
if we could get in touch with them, get rich with them, and teach them who they are once they come out, they'll be better part of society.
Another thing is that with Edom, a lot of them, they're not really
They don't care.
No, they're not really excited about seeing us go in there and teach that you're the chosen people of God.
Right,
It's
right.
kind of a bit of a conflict of interest. That kind of defeats the purpose of keeping y'all in jail to begin with.
Right.
You know, like giving you a sense of purpose and the knowledge of self. That's kind of like defeats the purpose of locking you up to begin with. So that's one of the reasons why they would not allow hopefully one day the Lord will open the door, but it's hard to open the door that they want to keep locked, you know, in terms of teaching who you are, especially in that situation that you're in. I've never heard that term before, behind the wall. That's the first time hearing that term before.
Well, you know how funny it is, but they allowed the Muslims to just go in there and
Right,
just,
right, because they know that's not gonna
that's not the
give
truth.
them peppers, because it's still an
That's not going.
ambiguous.
Yeah, that's not going to damage their society.
It's not going to give you a nationality. It's
Right.
Still part of the trap.
It's still trying
Right,
to trap.
right.
Get that real quick. But how old is this book again, Jez? I got it. It's up there already.
1899.
899. Good. So blow this up. The first one on the left.
You can't see anything.
More. Okay, but no, bring it some. Go down. No, go up. Go up. The flaming torch. It says Hamitic peoples. See what it says there? It says, let's say, Fawns.
It says the Fawns.
No, wait. Read the bottom part. Mixed in what? It says Hamitic peoples. Read that part. Mixed in what?
So mixed and doubtful Hamites.
So Esau knows who, so he can distinguish. He says Hamites. He says
Doubtful,
mixed
too.
and doubtful, meaning these guys could be Ham or may not, or mixed with Shem. Mixed with who? Mixed with us. With Jake. Watch. Who was that list there?
You got the Fans. Okay, they from the Ogawa Basin, thence inland.
Go ahead.
You got the Fulas,
Uh-huh.
West and Central Sudan.
So keep that in mind. Go ahead.
The Tibis, they are East Sahara. The Aegeus, Abyssinia. Maasai tribe, the Maasai land. You have the Philian, which is in Egypt.
Go now. Watch this. True Hamites.
Now
watch this.
you have the true Hamites, Berbers.
Berbers were the Berber. Remember a book I brought before, series ago, like episodes. It said Berber. You have Berber Hamites and you have Berber Semites. We conquered the Berber Hamites and took over Carthage. That's what it's going into. Berbers, the original ones. Okay, go ahead.
You got the Shalou, which is in Morocco.
That's what they were. Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, all Mauritania there. That is Mauritania Berbers. Go ahead.
You got the Zab and the Kabal, which is in Algeria and Tunis.
Right. Go ahead.
And then you got the Tuareg, which is in West Sahara. And then you got the Gallas and Somali, Afar, and Bejas.
Somali is the Sabians. Somali, it's Cushitic peoples. Go ahead. I'll go down.
And all right. And then you have the Semitic people, the Semitic peoples, Arabs, Mauritania.
Because remember the Moors came with the Arabs and took over Mauritania. West, go ahead.
West Sahara, Central and West Sudan. All right. And then you have the Himyarites, which is Ahara, Tigray, and Shaar, which is in Abyssinia.
Go
so
down.
they're considered Semitic.
Yeah, it's Semitic. Because Arabs are Semitic. They come from Abraham. Go down. That's what I sent you. There's more. It gives you another list. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it on that list.
So the Fulani, mentions the Fulani. They're I've heard arguments saying someone said that they're Ham. I've heard Jake say that they're Ham, and I've heard other Jake say that they're Jake. So it's in between. It could be both, mixture of both. So I can't tell you right now. I can't tell you right now at the moment. What indefinitely, but I think the Fulanis is Jake. I'm pretty sure they're Jake. Okay, especially if they're involved in the slave trade. They were involved in being sold off. They were Jake. They fit the curses.
We have the book that says that they were Jews.
Okay, get that one. Put that up. We went over that before, right?
Yes, sir.
It was way back. So you have to excuse my memory in terms of the retention of the books. I can only retain but so much if I start forgetting stuff. I start replacing things. Remember one thing and forget something else. It's one in and out the other.
The book, do you have it? The book called The Affairs?
Oh, that joint. Okay. Yeah, Fulani. Yes, Fulani, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you don't have it.
Text? All right. We're going to answer one more text and we'll continue because I want to get through as far as I can.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Real quick before you get
we barely ever answer phone calls or answer texts, so that's why I'm doing it now.
All praises, all praises. All right. Hi, brothers. Thank you for your show. Is the real tribe of Dan still here? If so, where are they? And how can you re-circumcise?
I'll get to that. I'm trying to get to that. But we got a lot of phone calls and texts. I'm going to try to get to it. Exactly. That's a very good question. How can you re-circumcise, right? But the tribe of Dan were not over. They weren't erased. They pretty much mixed in. They were depleted to a small number. Where the Lord no longer counts them as a tribe. So they were conquered over. They were conquered and intermingled with the rest of the tribes. So they're not gone as a tribe. They just the Lord doesn't no longer counts them as a tribe.
Right.
They're depleted to a small number. They exist, but they're a small like the black Caribs. That'll be them over here. They're a small number. And if they're among in Africa somewhere, it's a possibility as well. But they're a small number. The Lord doesn't count them.
Hey, today is really something else, man. This is what we spoke about at the table last night.
Yeah, everything you guys are asking us, we talked about among ourselves. It's creepy. Well, not creepy, but it's providence.
Right.
All praises to the Most High.
And the rest of it is also, was Shakespeare a black man?
Yes, undeniably so.
Okay, I know Beethoven was from a class you had some months ago.
The Moor. He's a Moor.
He's a Moor. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm suggesting this is Malcolm. Malcolm, I don't know where you're from. Just let us know where you're from so we, keep a survey of where our listeners are.
A picture of Shakespeare I saw a long time ago of him black. I forgot where I saw it from, but it was in a book. He's depicted as black. Shakespeare is definitely black.
I think it's bald head, right? Some kind of
he was really dark. He was forehead bald.
Forehead bald, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you got Fulani there? You got it? Fulani?
Yes, sir. Blow it up.
For the Fulani, for the last question. Then we're going to move on. Yes.
All right, I'm going to start. It says,
origin of the Fulani.
Origin of the Fulani.
Yeah.
I'm going to come down to in the course of his... No, we going.
In the course.
In the course of his relations with the Fulani, de Gohardin was particularly struck with their peculiar knowledge of Jewish history.
There you go. Damn, go ahead. I remember this. Go ahead.
So familiarly did they speak of the chief Hebrew personalities of the Old Testament, and so well posted were they with the principal events related in it that they could not argue de Gohardin have acquired their knowledge merely through Arabic sources.
He's saying that these guys didn't learn about the Bible from Muslims, is what he's saying. They already had knowledge before the Muslims came along. Go ahead.
They referred to those times as though dealing with their own national records. Moses and Abraham might have been individuals of the same race as themselves.
Damn. Go ahead. Israelites.
In their oral legend, Moses plays a very important part. And although certain passages of the scriptures are transformed or rather assimilated, they have so intense a biblical and Hebraic tone as to exclude all Arabic influence.
They didn't learn from Muslims. They're already Jews before the Muslims got there. Go ahead.
De Gohardin noted, however, that their Israelitish chronicles ceased after Solomon.
After Solomon's time, go ahead.
What they knew of the miracles of our Savior was so distorted and erroneous as to prove that the New Testament had reached them from afar in a vague and fragmentary condition.
They didn't get the gospel. Go ahead. As clear as they should have. Go ahead.
De Gohardin's conclusions are best given in his own words. It would seem as if the Puls, Fulani, if they themselves did not profess the Jewish faith, which I would rather be disposed to affirm than deny, were at least in permanent contact with the Jewish people in remote times, and that influenced at one time or another by the Israelites, they received Old Testament legends directly from them.
He's saying either they're them or they were heavily among them, but they were them. That's what he says. Is that on it? Or there's more?
There's more. Dr. Blyting also testifies in an indirect way to the close acquaintance of the Fulani with the history of ancient Hebraic personalities. They hold the language of the Quran, he remarks, in the greatest veneration, affirming that it is the language which was spoken by Adam, Seth, Noah, Abraham, Ishmael. Go to the other page. I want to get straight to the point. Is that it? Blow that up. All right. Go down. All right. It is significant that the son and successor of Othman Dan Fadil, Sultan Bello of Hausa.
Oh, the Hausa, okay.
Second Fulani ruler over the Hausa states in the history of the Sudan, written in Arabic characters, which he gave to Clapperton.
So Fulani resided in Hausa states. Is that what they're saying?
Right.
Okay.
He was a ruler over there that was a Fulani too.
Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Written in Arabic characters, which he gave to Clapperton, describes the Taurus, who may, I think, be identified with the Taurus, a sect of Fulani greatly looked up to as having originated from the Jews.
Damn. Oh, Mungo Park. There you go.
Mungo Park, when writing of his experiences among the Mandingos.
Mandingos goes back to your boy Mansa Musa. That's who that goes back to. Go ahead.
Who appear to have been converted to Islam by the Fulani.
Mansa Musa was a Muslim. Go ahead.
With whom they have been in close relationship, amiable and the reverse, for many centuries. observed a similar widespread knowledge of incidents in Old Testament history, such as the death of Abel, the lives of the patriarchs, Joseph's dream, and so on. Winterbottom is equally emphatic. The customs of these people, the Fulani says, bear a striking resemblance to those of the Jews described
in the Old Testament, Pentateuch, the Old Testament.
In the Pentateuch, and after Muhammad.
Because we were caught between two. We were following Islam and the Bible at the same time, like the Moors are doing.
Right. And after Muhammad, Moses is held by them in the highest estimation.
Damn.
There is some uniformity, too, between the following descriptive passages. The first is from Kenrick, American Edition. The second from Ling's History of the Suluma people and their relation with the Fulani. That's it.
That's it. There you go. So there's your answer. Fulani. So what I want to get out of that. Give me that map real quick. Matter of fact, yeah, give me the map real quick. The Ogilvy map real quick. Mention the Fulani over the Hausa states. Blow it up. It's a clear one, right? You should see Hausa on the map. Move over to the left. Move over. Over. You should see Hausa somewhere in the middle there. The bottom. Blow it up some. Bring it in more. Bring it in more.
It's pixelated.
There we go. House is right there. Move over. House is right there to the. It's right. Oh, right. We see Nigeria. House is right there. See it? H-A-U. Go over.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Hausa. See H-A-U.
Right.
And see what it says right there? It says Levite cities. See that? So Israel was there. I heard people say Hausa's Ham, but I don't know. I mean, I heard they were, but I think some are Jake among them. That's why I said. That's why I mixed. But Fulani, who were living there, is Jakes. All right, and that's not just right there in Nigeria. It's right there. All right. So now give me. What was I going now? Now I want to get back to the point about recircumcision.
You want to take a break?
What time is it? Because we gotta stop at 3:30. It's 2:50.
Keep going.
I'll keep going. Y'all need a break? You need to take a break? You good? Everybody good?
Yeah,
Hey,
we're good.
Oh, Jay, oh God.
I just wanted to say something. Remember the video you showed with the Yiddish speaking dude?
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah, there's a scripture. What they're doing is already documented. That's what we should be looking out for. 2 Maccabees 6:1. It's the same tactic that we read about in the scriptures that these people is doing, causing that confusion in our land. Now, when you look at them, all gray, stupid looking, you be like, okay, that's an elder. He's supposed to know something. Meanwhile, he don't know nothing.
Right.
He just setting confusion. 2 Maccabees 6:1. So the Greeks did it. Now you got these people doing the same thing.
Same people doing the same thing.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
2 Maccabees 6:1.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius.
All right. So the Greeks did the same thing. Once you confuse the people who they are, how they going to keep their laws? How they going to serve their gods? They can't do it. And that's why the dude didn't have the right information, but he had an idea of who the 12 tribes were. But he's living amongst that confusion, and that's exactly what's happening to our people
saying
now.
he's Dan, and he's not. So now, give me the history of Ethiopian Jewry, myjewishlearning.org. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna just read it. Blow it up. Cap, you gotta take over, man. Sorry.
No, I'm just waiting for them to blow it up. I
Blow
can't
it up.
see that.
That's too small. The history of
That's
Ethiopian Jewry. Bring it up.
Piecing together legends and stories. A Jewish community in Ethiopia, the Beta Israel, House of Israel.
They called themselves House of Israel. Go ahead.
Has existed for at least 15 centuries. Because of low literacy levels, a tendency to rely on oral traditions, and nomadic lifestyles among most Ethiopians prior to the 20th century. Historic materials about this community is scant and unreliable. However, a tentative story can be pieced together with written records of Ethiopian rulers as well as testimony from the Beta Israel themselves.
So their own rulers wrote these things down regarding their origins. Go ahead.
Origins of the community. Most likely, the Beta Israel arrived in Ethiopia between the 1st and 6th centuries.
Stop. They arrived in Ethiopia between the 1st and 6th centuries. That's between Assyria and Babylon. That's when they arrived there. 1st and 6th centuries is 100s to 600 BC. That's what they're talking about. That's when they arrived there. That's between Persia and Babylon. That's between Assyria and Babylon. They arrived over there. All right. 1st and 6th centuries is 100, and then you have 600 BC. Go ahead.
Coming as merchants or artisans from various countries in the region.
That's good.
I know, but he just like interrupted the flow.
He just jumped right in there.
Gosh. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You got you know. Go ahead,
finish,
man. Go ahead, Judge. Give Cap a break. He got a lot more reading to do. You better count your blessings. Go down to the bottom. Go down. Read on. A lot of reading to do. I'm telling you. Wish he was here.
I'm messing with.
Scholars once believed that during the Middle Ages, the Beta Israel were a homogeneous group living.
Remember, we always stayed among ourselves. So during the Middle Ages, as far even into the Dark Ages, we stayed among ourselves. Go ahead.
Living under unified, autonomous Jewish rule. Yet now, discoveries have shown that the truth is far more complex. It seems the Ethiopian Jewish community was, for the most part, fragmented, both physically and religiously, with each Beta Israel village appointing its own spiritual and secular leaders. Mm-hmm. There was little contact between Beta Israel communities and usually no overarching leadership uniting them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the Beta Israel were treated well by the Ethiopian monarchy.
They were treated well by the Cushites. The monarchy are the actual Ethiopians that ruled over the land. They were treated well by them. Go ahead.
But at other times, they suffered persecution.
Other times, Cush is putting a foot in our behind because the curses followed us wherever we go. Go ahead.
Many fellow Ethiopians refer to the Beta Israel as Falasha.
Many fellow Ethiopians, Cushites, refer to them as Falashas. Go ahead.
A derogatory term, meaning outsider.
Because they were not Cushites. You guys are outsiders. You guys are exiles. That's the word Falasha means. Outsider or exile or a stranger. We're going to get that in a minute. Go ahead.
In 1624, the ruling king's army captured many Ethiopian Jews, forced them to be baptized, and denied them the right to own land.
Because the Ethiopians, when the Edomites got over there, they converted the Ethiopians, Cushites, to Christianity. And Beta was like, we're not having it. That's not our culture. So the Ethiopian monarchy, who were Christianized by the white folks, forced the same Christianity on the House of Israel. Go ahead.
According to local legend, some members of the Beta Israel chose suicide over conversion.
So again, put to death. Go ahead.
Religious life. Since the Beta Israel community existed in isolation from other Jewish communities around the world, they developed a unique set of religious practices.
Watch this.
In some ways quite different from what is typically considered Jewish.
So their Judaism was quite different from modern Judaism because theirs was better, original. Go ahead.
For example, an order of Ethiopian Jewish monks was founded in the 15th century to strengthen the community's religious identity and resist Christian influence.
Monks means they're priests. Go ahead.
This monastic movement introduced an organized approach to religious practice, creating new religious literature and prayers, and adopting laws of ritual purity.
Go ahead.
Historians learned about the community's religious life in the 19th century from the writings of Joseph Halevi, a French Jew who visited the area in 1867.
So a so-called visited the land in 1867. Go ahead.
He provided the first eyewitness account of Beta Israel life from a European Jewish perspective.
Go ahead.
Halevi described a community that followed legal sections in the Hebrew Bible.
Watch this.
And observed laws of purity surrounding menstruation, birth, and death.
Surrounding menstruation, birth, death. Go ahead.
They observed Sabbaths.
Go ahead.
And believed in values such as respecting elders, receiving guests, and visiting mourners.
Go ahead. Visiting mourners.
Mourners. They referred to the Torah as Orit, possibly from the Aramaic term for the Torah, the Orisha, and kept their Torah scrolls covered in colorful cloths in houses of prayer or in the homes of one of the Kessin priests.
The elder Kessin is the elders. Go ahead. Say look there. Say look.
Go back up.
Say look. That's us there. Like damn Benjamin.
Yeah, it looks just like Benjamin.
Looks like straight Benjamin.
Yeah, that's Benjamin right there.
All right, go down.
Yeah.
Like today in Israel, Ethiopian Jews celebrated Sigd, a festival which commemorates the giving of the Torah.
Okay.
On this holiday, community members would fast, climb the highest mountain in the area.
Hold on, they would fast during this time, climb the highest mountain. They would celebrate the giving, the receiving of the Bible. They would climb the highest mountain in the area and fast. Watch this.
And listen to the Qasim chant passages of the Hebrew Bible.
Listen to their elders chant passages of the Bible. Watch this.
Particularly the book of Nehemiah.
Why? Because they descend from them. That's why. They descend from them. Like the brother said in the video. That's why I showed that video. Go ahead.
In the afternoon, they would descend, break their fast, and rejoice in their renewed acceptance of the Orit.
The law. Go ahead.
Missionaries in trying times.
Watch this. Missionaries in trying times.
At the time of Halevi's report, one of the biggest challenges facing the Ethiopian Jewish community was European missionary activity.
European missionary activity. Because the Ethiopians were converted by the Europeans into Christianity, and the Ethiopians are forcing us to follow that. That's why Haile Selassie had a white Jesus on his damn desk. Mm-hmm. He's a lion of Judah, but he worshiped a white Jesus, but he's a lion of Judah?
Don't add up.
He worshiping a white version of himself? How'd that happen? So these Ethiopian monarchs became Christian, and so they wanted all their people in their land to be Christians, in Christianity. So this is an Ethiopian freaking Inquisition. That's what this is. Go ahead.
Though the community had frequently been pressured to convert by Ethiopian authorities, missionaries from abroad with large-scale organized missions presented an even stronger threat. European missionaries, well-versed in the Hebrew Bible, were educated and skilled in debate. The Better Israel clergy could not compete.
So the European missionaries challenged their elders and try to confound their elders to make the people lose hope in the leadership, so they can follow behind them. See how evil these people are? Evil as hell. Go ahead.
The Better Israel clergy could not compete. By providing schools and Bibles written in the local language, Amharic, the missionaries challenged the community's practice and
their
faith.
language is called Amharic. Amharic is their language. Go ahead. Or I think it's called Geese. Go ahead.
On a number of occasions, the Better Israel monastic clergy tried to escape the missionaries' influence by leading their communities to the promised land, Israel.
So they were trying to flee from the white man and run to Israel, where they know they came from. Go ahead.
By and large, these journeys were disastrous.
They were dying in the process of trying to run there. Go ahead.
One particular attempt in 1862 ended in large-scale starvation and death.
Damn, go ahead.
Between 1882 and 1892, the regions of Ethiopia where the Better Israel lived suffered from a famine that killed an estimated 1/3 to 1/2 of the Better Israel.
Damn. That's the Lord judge. That's the Lord's curse. It's famine. Go ahead.
The world Jewish community. Halevi's study, Jakes Falevich, was the first Jewish foreigner to work in earnest on improving conditions for the Ethiopian Jewish community. Arriving for his first visit.
So jump down. So this goes into how pretty much they gained sympathy from the so-called Israelis, and they airlifted them out of this land because of this persecution into Israel under Operation Moses, Operation Joshua, and Operation Solomon. They airlifted these our brothers, Ethiopian Jews, from this land, from this persecution, and placed them in Israel. And guess what they did? They still converted them over. So rather than them, so they ran from European Christianity and ran into European Judaism. So they ran to the same thing. The curses will pursue you wherever you go. Give me Isaiah 11 now. Isaiah 11. To show Israel is always in these places. You've been there for years. They reside in Ethiopia for centuries. That's what the Bible says. Isaiah 11.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
You know what I want.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria.
Assyria, go ahead.
And from Egypt. And from Pathros.
Lower Egypt.
And from Cush.
Cush is Ethiopia. Cush is Ethiopia. Go ahead.
And from Elam.
That's India, East India or Iran. Go ahead.
And from Shinar.
Iraq. India, you have Afro-Iraqis. That's them over there even to this day. Go ahead.
And from Hamath.
Syria. You have Afro-Syrians over there today too. Go ahead.
And from the islands of the sea.
The islands of the sea goes to the Philippines, the Canary Islands, Cape Verde, islands of the sea. Crete, Go ahead.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Outcasts of Israel are those nations. Go ahead. Outcasts or what? Philashas. Go ahead.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Right, that's all I want. So now, get me, brother, ask a question. Are you recircumcised? Remember, they were keeping the customs of the law. They were already circumcised. So now, give me, what else I want? I want, dictionary.com. I sent you that for Falasha. See what the word means. Dictionary.com, Falasha. Then go back to the Ogilvy map. Go back to the Ogilvy map again. I want that map again. Yep, go get dictionary.com, blow it up. Remember it said that the Ethiopian monarchy called them outsiders. Read that here. Falasha.
Falasha. Disparaging and offensive. Better Israel.
Right, Falasha goes back to the word, I believe it goes back to the word fallacious, like false. Go down. In that language. Go ahead. Go down. Is there more? Go down.
Origin of Falasha.
That's what I wanted, yep.
First recorded in 1710 to 1715. From Amharic, Falasha, immigrant, exile, stranger.
See? Immigrant, exile, stranger. Go ahead.
From Falasha.
Falash. Go ahead.
Falash. Active participle of Falasa to migrate.
So in that language, it means to migrate. Well, I'm associated with the word fallacy as in false, but it means that. So correct me on that one. To migrate, Falasha. So it means exile, stranger. Give me Obadiah.
You got more here, Deacon. You want to read this one?
Read that. Let's see this over there.
Usage note for Falasha. The derogatory name Falasha refers to a community of Ethiopian Jews or to a member of this community, most of whom now live in Israel. The Amharic word Falasha means outsider, exile, and this name was given to the Ethiopian Jews by other Ethiopians. The community refers to itself as Better Israel.
House of Israel. I mean, they're not Ethiopians.
So the other Ethiopians are the real Ethiopians.
Yes.
Right. Calling
Falasha.
them
Outsiders. You ain't us.
Right.
To show that the curses follow us, because even the history that Cap is bringing out in India, the Dalits are called outsiders also by these other nations. So
by the other Indians.
By the other Indians. Right? So no matter where we scattered, they all have a name, a derogatory name for us wherever we are.
All going back to us being separate from everybody else.
And that's why.
No, we're not their people.
Right.
And that's why people wonder, how can we identify who are the tribes of the Israelites? And I always like to say, if you look, no matter what country you go to, there's always going to be a ruling class, a dominated class. There's going to be a servant class. And when you look at the servant class, there's always key elements or like this identifiers that show markers that show, wait, these people are different from other people, even though they have certain attributes
or phenotypes,
features. They kind of identify with the curses. They live in differently. They're outcasts. They're treated differently because that's in Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. Right. We got to always look at that, and people always say, how can you differentiate the two? The scripture says, go ye therefore and teach all nations, and baptizing them the Father, and teaching them the gospel. Read that. To repentance. Read that real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon...
Start at verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
So no matter where the Israelites are scattered, it would be North America, South America, the diaspora, Africa, India, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Australia. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee. Read.
And shall pursue thee.
And shall pursue. That's the key word. Pursue thee.
Yep.
You could be stuck in the middle of an island where nobody knows you exist, but the curses will follow you no matter what. Yep. You could, and just like in North America, Gad and Northern Kingdom thought they could escape until they saw those ships. They saw that apocalypto. The curses pursued them. God says, nah, all right, you can't, you thought you escaped? You thought nobody has a roadmap? Columbus.
Yeah.
Read the books. Read the history. Read this. All right, send people over there.
Yep.
Send them over there. So the Most High will send explorers or conquistadors or conquerors to pursue you. Missionaries, Jesuits, and they will pursue you. They will find you. Go on.
And overtake thee.
And the curses will overtake you. You look at these people and say, wait a minute, what's wrong with these people? Look at the rich history. Look at, when you go to the records, they were kings, there was priests, there was queens, there was princesses. They had mighty empires. They had vast libraries. They have structure. They have architecture. Look at the architecture. Look at the history books. But how is it that they'd been relegated to these conditions? Since they will overtake them as a people. If you look at black people, Americans today, you look at our facial expressions, you look at how we carry ourselves. We've been overtaken. We've been overtaken to the point that we're unrecognizable as a people. Right. Go on.
To thou be destroyed.
Until we be what?
Destroyed.
Until we be destroyed. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Verse 46.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
How do you know the Philashers are Israelites? Let's go teach out there. If they are Israelites or if they're not Israelites, the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. Right. And then we go to Uganda. It's hard. Sometimes can be difficult, even though the facial features might show Nilotic, but you still have Shemites over there. So our objective is not to try to differentiate in terms of phenotypes
or blood type.
B1,
B1, A1, A1, A1 hot sauce. Nonsense.
C1, D1, LBT1.
Retarded, man.
Yeah. So, but it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. No, the Bible is our roadmap. Geographically and characteristically as well. Go on.
And for a wonder.
Why are these people in India are being even though they have the same type of features, misrepresented? Why do they have certain titles attached to them? Outcasts, dollies, and they never realized, wait a minute, why is it that these people are treated differently? They're in a different social class system. They've been treated differently, and the history is very, their lifestyle or their lives are very similar to what we read in the Bible. But no way they can look at like the people. No way that the Israelites. Look at how they look. Remember, we taking on different facial features of our oppressors.
We spent thousands of years in these lands, man.
Yeah.
Thousands of years in these lands, centuries in these lands.
And one of the reasons today were to put a different character on those people is because they have the histories.
Yeah.
The histories from the beginning, from the time they get in. Those government hold those history.
They hold the records, yeah.
The records, like this is where we put those people on. So those people over there, from generation to generation, are those people, the exiles.
Right. Keep them over there. They live over there. That's where they're at.
And why do you oppress your own people?
Why would you do that?
Who oppresses their own people? Why do Africans sell their own people? Right. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make no sense. Finish that.
For a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy seed forever. So we're not, like I said, we go out there and we teach the gospel. Whoever hears, Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. Let the angels divide the tares from the wheats.
Give me real quick. Give me Isaiah 11:12 said. I'm gonna get it again. It said the outcasts of Israel. That goes back to them being strangers, Philashers. It's the same thing.
Wow.
Give me what I asked for. I asked for the map. Go over to the right where Ethiopia is. Yep. Go back. Yep, right there. See what it says? It says Abyssinia. Bring it up. What does it say up there? It says Philashers right above Abyssinia. It says Philashers in red right there. It's blurred, but you see it. It says Philashers because Israel is right there for a long time. All right? Right there. So now, give me Isaiah 51:11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 11.
We're going to stop at verse 14.
Therefore, the redeemed of the Lord shall return and come with singing unto Zion.
That goes back to Isaiah 11. He shall recover them a second time. The redeemed of the Lord shall return to their land. Go ahead.
And everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. I, even I, am he that
comforteth you.
I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the son of man which shall be made as grass?
Got this?
And forgettest the Lord thy maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy.
Right, like the damn vaccine thing. We're terrified now. Everyone's afraid of losing their jobs, if danger of losing their jobs. This man's oppressing us. Even more so now than ever. Go ahead.
And where is the,
Hell, us and everybody else. That's not us. Go ahead.
and where's the fury of the oppressor?
Go ahead.
The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose.
Read 14 again.
The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose.
The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose, that he may be set free. That's Israel. Israel is the captive exile. Going back to Philastia again. Read it again.
The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail.
Right, nor that his bread should fail. So we are that captive exile. That's us. We're the captive exile the Bible talks about. We're some Philistines. That's us. The Dalites, the Philashas. That's us. We're the outcasts. We're the exile. Give me Obadiah real quick about stranger. Read verse 12.
Obadiah, verse 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger.
Once Babylon came into Jerusalem, and they sacked it, and we fled out of there, eastward and westward, we became strangers, or Philashas, or Igbos, Fulanis, Mandingos, Nigerians. That's what we became. All right? Captive exiles, wherever we go. Now, give me,
I didn't finish that.
Go ahead. There's more.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother and the day that thou become a stranger.
Because Edom was involved. That's what it's referring to Edom. Edom helped the Babylonians overthrow us. And now Edom is Babylon, the daughter of it. Go ahead.
Now that shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Now that shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
And again about the day of distress. That's it.
Yep.
Verse 12, that's all I wanted. So we became a stranger. We became the strangers that Paul wrote to in the letters in the New Testament. The Gentiles, outcast, heathen, Philashas, the same thing. Greeks, Gentiles, same thing. Uncircumcised, same thing. Hell, in this instance now recircumcised. Give me that article, please. Yep.
Deke.
Yeah.
Can I input something real quick?
We ain't got much time.
What? I'll just quote the scriptures in Israel. Y'all just look at it. It's Chronicles.
Read it.
First Chronicles.
Get it. What you want to get?
9 and 1.
Go ahead, get that.
According to what Officer LaCroix said and how you bring it out, there's records of these things. So in Christianity, when people come and tell you we're spiritual Israel, or we
that right,
that's nonsense because there's a record. These people are under different names, and even them that's saying it, they don't understand they are Israel, but they're listening to the white man.
Right.
There's no spiritual Israel. Everything has records. It's documented in this book, and our people are scattered, the diaspora, under different names.
Right.
Right.
Oh, give me that. I sent you that page about pure Hamites, and it was a page I sent you with a map on it. I want that also. Matter of fact, get that first. Go ahead and read that you got. Read what you got. Okay.
All right.
Blow that up. I want that map. Blow it. All I want is the map. Everything else is irrelevant to me. Move it over. Blow it up some more if you can, and move it over. And that's fine. Yep. And just bring it in some. Yes. Leave it there. Leave it right there. Go ahead. Go what you got.
First Chronicles chapter 9, verse 1. So all Israel were reckoned by genealogies. And behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgressions.
So since the time of Babylon till today, our people have been carried away. Why? For our transgressions.
Right.
But there's no spiritual Israel.
With their record.
Yeah, and there's a record of what we did, how we got into this position, and how we can get out. But we're not being taught that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Excellent. And also, that's why the Israelis had to acknowledge the Ethiopians as Jews because they had their records. These guys got records to prove that they were here for a long time.
Right.
They are the Jews, but we're going to tell them that they're Dan.
Right.
We're not going to dare tell them that they're descendants of Nehemiah and Ezra because then they're entitled to the land more than we are or equally as we are.
Right.
So we'll say that they're Dan, and since Judah is the king line, we will be the top and they'll be the bottom, the 10 tribes. That's the whole plight. To keep niggas in the bottom, regardless if you acknowledge them as Israel, they're beneath you as the tribes. They're the lower tribes, what he's saying. You know, all 12 tribes are God's chosen people, but we all know that Judah is, in fact, the top tribe. And that's what the so-called claim. Benjamin and Levi. They're the teachers, they're the priests, they're the kings. That's what they're saying when they say that they're Judah. Yehudi. That's what they're saying. So now, the book I showed you before, it mentions doubtful, mixed Hamites, and pure, and Semites. There's a map. This book is 1890 something, right?
Yes, sir.
1890s. Read what it says there on top.
So we have Hamites.
So it has Hamites going across because in ancient times, Ham had that land. They had it. And then Israel, during the persecutions, we started being pushed over there and started conquering them out of there and moving them, pushing them further west. Okay, Hamites. So Hamites had that land. These are Berbers.
Right.
Then we conquered them over and became Berber Semites. Okay, and took over Carthage. Go ahead. Then you see Fulani right there in the bottom. Right there in the bottom where it says, what's under Fulani?
Sudanese Negroes.
Sudanese Negroes. Because you had Hamites in Sudan and you had Jakes living among them. That's why he says Sudanese Negroes. Because the Sudanese are Egyptians. But Sudanese Negroes are Jakes that live among them. Then in the bottom it says, go to the bottom, bring it up some. It says Bantus. You had Bantu Jakes and you had Bantu Ham also. Okay, this is the old map. Esau knows who's who. He knew. He said, I can't determine who these guys are. They mingled around with some of them Muslim, Judaism over here, Hebrew, Arabic, Hebrew, Hamite language over here. But these guys keep the custom pure. These guys speak pure Hebrew over here. That's it. They can discern. Because Esau traveled. Mungo Park,
right. That
Guardian dude, Ogleby. All these guys, these Edomites were missionaries. They were traveling, and they were able to encounter these people. All right? So let that go. So it's the Sudanese Negroes, and I mentioned Ethiopians, right? Go to that next article now. Go out of this. 10 minutes. Got you. Go to, it's Hadetz. It's 2016, I believe. Israeli rabbi uses what? Remember, they were fleeing Ethiopia from Christian missionaries.
Persecution.
Right, persecution. Religious persecution of the Ethiopian Christian monarchs and European Christian missionaries, right? Watch this.
Israeli rabbi uses Ethiopians, Sudanese infants for circumcision training. Report shows.
For circumcision training. Continue.
The investigation by Israel's new broadcaster captured mentor, Rabbi Elihu Asulan, saying on camera that the poor strata of the population are cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder. The poor strata of the population in Israel are cannon fodder. Meaning useless. Just use them for whatever. Watch this.
Inexperienced students of circumcision have been practicing their skills on the babies of the poorest of Israeli society.
They're practicing their circumcision on the poorest of Israeli society. That's the Ethiopian Jews over there and the Sudanese Negroes that were over there as well. Israelites over there.
Right.
Watch this.
Ethiopian and Sudanese families often claiming to be fully qualified mahels, Jewish ritual circumcisers.
So we read again?
It says Ethiopian and Sudanese families often claiming to be fully qualified mohels, Jewish ritual circumcisers.
So they already claimed to be circumcised themselves. We can do it ourselves. Go ahead.
According to a new investigation. The investigation was conducted by Khan, Israel's new public broadcasting corporation. According to the investigation, the initiates are students of Rabbi Elihu Asulan of Hadara, a rabbinic-approved mahel with over 30 years' experience, who is paid thousands of dollars by the students to teach them the trade. In many instances, according to the investigation, Asulan sends totally inexperienced students to conduct circumcisions among poor families.
He sent uneducated students of his to practice circumcision on the Ethiopians. Remember, when they come to Ethiopia, if they claim to be Jews, they have to be Jews according to Israeli standards. So they had to be re-circumcised.
Damn.
Now, I found an article that said re-circumcised on Wikipedia, but someone, because Wikipedia can be altered, they removed that part of the part where it said I'm gonna find it, but they would re-circumcise them. So read it again.
In many instances, according to the investigation, Asulan sends totally inexperienced students to conduct circumcisions among poor families.
This is called medical apartheid. That's what this is.
Damn.
Go ahead.
Without accompanying them himself. Asulin allegedly explained to the Khan investigative journalist that he first instructs the students to make business cards describing their profession as Moel.
Right, I'm a circumcision doctor. Because the Ethiopian Jews thought, okay, well, in order for me to be a Jew, I gotta be circumcised here in Israel to stay here. Fine, cut me. Go ahead.
Then he tells them to distribute their cards at nurseries and postnatal clinics.
For their babies. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, the recording of Asulin continues. I'll lodge a Mahel certificate in your name with the rabbinic. That will already gives you a year's head start. Mm-hmm. The rabbi goes on to explain why the students practice on the babies of the weaker strata of the population.
Why they practice on the blacks of the land and not their own people. Watch this.
Why not?
He says record it because this guy's a reporter. He's asking him questions. This guy Aslan doesn't know he's a reporter. So he says to him, why not? Go ahead.
He asks in the recording. They have no father.
They have no fathers.
Wow.
No mother.
They have no mothers.
There's no problem. Even if your cut isn't straight, they won't say anything.
If your cut isn't straight,
Damn.
they won't say nothing. Go ahead.
Because they don't understand anything.
Because they don't understand anything. These are stupid niggas. We cut them wrong. They won't know the difference. Go ahead.
He later told the investigator, who by then had signed up for the course at a price of $11,000, according to the report. They're Ethiopians.
They're niggas. Cushy. Go ahead.
You're doing it to Ethiopians. They are the regular Ethiopians, and then there are the Sudanese.
They are regular Ethiopians, then the Sudanese. Go ahead.
They're the worst.
They're the worst.
They are as black as natives.
They're black.
The hell is this?
Go ahead.
Asun also said he tells his students to claim to be qualified when dealing with the Ethiopians and Sudanese. Why does everyone go to them? He asked. Because that's where you learn. They're canning fodder.
That's where you go to learn. They're cannon fodder. So you mess up, it don't matter.
It don't matter. That's why you learn.
That's how you learn. You cut and you lose. You couldn't make a mistake.
Just like the vaccine.
Yeah.
You make the vaccine, the white people get the disease, but why you have to go in Africa and test it?
That's all I want. Exactly. That's all I want. So I'm showing you that these heathens, man, they also this to flip it to the women's side, they were sterilizing the women. Ethiopian women, they were sterilizing them. They were saying through vaccinations. They were secretly sterilizing our sisters over there because we were growing up. We were, you know how we do. We have make babies, all day, making babies, pop. We start to outnumber the Israelis. Now they want us gone. So for the past 30 years, they've been beating us. There's videos on it, beating us, abusing us. They want us out the land. All of that stuff going on, and it's being kept secret. So they claim that we over here are anti-Semitic, but you're over there killing and sterilizing and cutting up our penises, all bad over there to Semites, right? Damn evil bastards. So that's all I want. So now, how much time I got? 5 minutes, you said? All right. So we're gonna wrap it up on that. Let me see. Wrap it up on that. So
hey Deacon,
you can't knock the Jewish Bible, man. It's definitely a true book. Yeah.
That's just a thought that was running through my mind. Everywhere we go, Esau always say the same thing, that Negroes or black people are overly sexualized.
Yeah.
They're overly sexualized brute beasts. And when you look at it throughout the time, I was just thinking about the prophecy when God said to Abraham, your seed shall number the stars of the heaven or the sand of the sea. No. I'm thinking the Most High probably have to put a different spirit within our people in order to overpopulate, to populate so quickly. That's why they say we overly sexualize and we like to have sex a lot because of the spirit the Most High put in us to populate the
fruitful.
earth.
Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply.
And it's going to happen again, Isaiah 60 verse 22.
Right. They put our affection, our strong affections for each other in a negative connotation. Men, we have, back, especially down south. Forget it. Down south, they had like 14, 15.
That's always common amongst us.
In the Caribbean islands, women, so-called Latino, Hispanics.
Oh, babies, 16, 20 babies.
You surrounded by tropical, the sea, the blue, or the fresh air. You banging.
What else are you doing?
What
else are you going to be doing all day?
Pick some apples and yams and go get some more yams in the bedroom. That's what's going to happen.
It's like you don't have too much distraction throughout the day. You have the sea, you have the ocean, you got, like you said, you have the scenery.
Right.
And you have your beautiful wife. It's like, okay, what else are you going to do? We don't play sports out here like that. We don't. We're poor. Might as well make babies.
Right. That's what we did. So that's frowned upon because Edomites, they're incapable of mass production like that. Right. They women know. That's why they have a thing called wimpy white boy syndrome, where their babies will be born all sickly and weak, and they had to use our women as wet nurses to nurse their babies to grow up to be big and strong because their women's titties is weak pink, red titties is garbage. They had to use big nigger titties instead to make their white babies big and strong like niggas.
Yep.
Damn, Deacon.
That's what they had to do. Because y'all weak as hell, so I gotta rely on our women's titties. It's the best titties.
Genesis 25.
Our best titties, the best titties, and you go to the old.
Bring it out.
Dang, Deke.
And also, they also read our books. They read our records. And Exodus, that's what the Egyptians was afraid of.
What you saying? Oh, right.
Yeah, that's what the Egyptians, that they'll be more than us. And if war fall out, they take us over. And they knew that's how we get down.
Exactly. But again, going back to my point, that's why Esau pushes. That's why Esau is trying to, his best to make it so that, he eradicates us, whether it be through lead poisoning, whether it be through effeminizing us, masculinizing the women, anything he can do to control population, particularly our population control, because we're the ones that outnumber everybody. That's their main focus. Whether through inoculation, which is called vaccinations in South Africa, as you can see, even in Israel, they're trying to do it over here. It's the same exact thing. It's nothing new. But Israel, they cannot stop prophecy. Israel will outnumber we already outnumber the ascendancy. We're already the majority. The problem is that Esau doesn't want it to be evident. We've always outnumbered Edom. Edom has always been the minority, always been the smallest. I got books written by Benjamin Franklin saying, yo, we're the smallest. We got to stop letting these niggas in the land. There's too many colored people on the earth. We're the minority. They've always been that way. So they'll say, you know what? We'll have sex with a few of the Native Americans. We'll say the mulattoes are the majority. Yeah. That's a war tactic. If you say that you're a majority, people fear you. But if you're a minority, they don't respect you. Other nations know America that white folks are the minority. They know that. That's why there's articles I put out classes ago called "The Western Man is Dying," where they don't produce as much. So it's known that these guys don't produce as much. So that's why they frown upon nations that are heavily multiply, like even the Asians. Moab and them, they have a whole bunch of babies. Mm-hmm. But Moab and them have inherited the Western mentality, so they frown upon that too. But Israel, we do what we do. Babies, we be poor as hell, got 80 kids. We don't give a damn, we make it work.
In a weaker state. We in a weaker state.
Yeah, we make it work. So on that note, hope you guys enjoyed the class.
That's the only thing that brings us peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, peace
We
of
don't got
mind.
nothing else in this lifetime, but we got the.
You got Henny and women. Or Henny and men. Okay,
All right.
he's singing. He's singing. Don't do that. Don't encourage Evan Joel singing. Shout outs to that. No, not shout outs to your singing. But shout outs to the IT team. But shout outs to the breakfast team. All praises.
All praise the Most
All
High.
right.
Hey, let's give.
To be loved.
Let's not do this right now.
To be loved.
Bring it out, Cap. We miss you, man.
I miss you too.
Look at that. Y'all having a moment or something?
That was smooth, man.
I miss you, Cap.
It's
Yeah,
been
what the
a
hell's
long
going
time,
on?
man, since I've been here. Traveling around.
God.
Yo,
That was tough.
listen, man.
I just want to make sure everybody that offended, I apologize.
Thank you. I'm offended by your singing.
But the Day of Atonement's coming up next week. I know I was talking about Levi's head, but guess what?
Yo.
Judah got big heads too.
You do.
Benjamin got smaller heads. It is what it is. This is how we do. Those of you that are offended, Day of Atonement's next week, so repent.
So
Whoa. They got offended. They got to repent.
that's a new one.
I thought Cap gonna tell him to call the show or something.
I'm saying, yo, Day of Atonement is next week. Get offended. Repent.
Tell them to repent, and you offending them. That was terrible,
Hey,
man.
listen. Let's give Deke a round of applause for another beautiful class.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody who made this possible. Glad to have you back, Cap.
Shout out to the callers too.
Shout out to the callers. Beautiful questions, and that's what we like. State your name, the city where you're from, and you can see you're a witness of the beautiful work that's happening right in front of your eyes. Brothers are behind the wall hearing this truth and reaching out. Okay, so Israel, we need more faith. We need more fasting for our leaders so they can continue bringing out this truth and change the lives of our people. Okay, so what we want you to do, follow our Hidden History radio show on YouTube channel and subscribe and like and share it. All right. You can donate to the show on PayPal, IUIC Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. All right. Donate on PayPal, IUIC Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. And also support the Boosters Club. All right. IUIC fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. Your help is, excuse me? IUIC.Philadelphia at israelunite.org, IUIC.fundraising at israelunite.org. All right? Your support is greatly needed, and so we can continue this work. All right? With that, we say shalom.
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 God bless.
God bless.
See y'all.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.